Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. How's everybody doing out there? I appreciate y'all joining the live stream. What's up? What's up? Make sure y'all smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. Today is July 3rd, 2025. We are in the second half of the year. We are in the third quarter. Appreciate y'all joining. I'm gonna give it a few minutes to let a few more people to join. Happy holidays. Tomorrow's July 4th in the United States. It's a holiday. It's also a bank holiday. And we are getting closer to our goals in the crypto space. We are getting closer to everything coming to fruition. Make sure y'all smash that like button for me if you're just joining. Subscribe to the channel. And share the video for me. If you're interested in signing up to the Patreon, click the link in the description below. What's up, Scott? Shout out to you. Appreciate you joining, Scott. Shout out to you. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, I got the link pinned to the comment section if y'all are interested in joining the Patreon. It's been a good week. I've just launched the Signal service. It's been a good week. I got a lot of good feedback, and it's going up in there. So I think I'm gonna cap it off. If I get too crazy, I think I'm gonna limit it to a certain amount of people. But if y'all are interested, definitely sign up. If y'all are interested. Right, what I got right here on my screen right here. This is the let me see, what is this called? The XRP. .dev. This is pretty much all the transactions going on in the crypto space. Let me pull it up right quick. Blow it up a little bit. This is pretty much all the transactions going on right now on the XRP ledger. I find this really interesting. I find it real interesting. On the left, pay attention to this. If you've never been to this website, it is called the 3xrp.dev. So THREEXRP.dev. Some of y'all been over here, some of y'all haven't been over here. But if you look over here to the far left, this is the stable coin transactions flowing through the network. And then right next to it is the fiat. But pay attention to how fast the stable coins are going on the network, because we all know it's digital currency. And they're on the net. They're on the ledger. So all these transactions are settling instantly, okay? It's damn near instant transaction settlements. So look at the speed of the stable coins compared to regular fiat transactions, which is pretty much taking longer. What's up, Jay Manson? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you joining. Shout out to you. Also, I'm monetized now, y'all. I'm monetized. I don't have ads yet, but I am monetized on YouTube. I couldn't do that without y'all, so I definitely appreciate y'all joining. Staying tuned to my channel. So I just got monetized. I didn't even realize I was eligible, but I just got monetized on my channel. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so definitely, if y'all are brand new, help me out. Help my channel out. But yeah, I was on this website. I've been here before, but now I have a better understanding of what's going on. I clearly see how fast the stable coins are flowing through the network over on the left, and fiat is way slower. Okay, that's like going through the exchange, like Coinbase. Let me see what else they got up here. Different exchanges where you paying cash for your crypto and then it takes time to settle. That's the fiat way of doing it. But if you're on chain, the stable coins are flowing super fast. So I find that real interesting. Stable coin regulations right around the corner. We got a lot to talk about. We got XRP or Ripple and Circle applying for banking license. That's a big deal because they're pretty much showing us that, hey, Ripple, Circle, they're banking institutions. They're not just cryptocurrencies, etc. Damn, shout out to you, Excalibur, $5. I appreciate it, man. Damn, congrats, monetization. Keep up the great work. I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate that, Excalibur. That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy to me. I'm really grateful for that. Even though I don't ask y'all for nothing, I've been coming up here doing this shit for free for so long, but I didn't expect my channel to kind of grow so fast. So we finally here, and I'm gonna continue to grow. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna continue to get it. But I definitely appreciate my day ones and my loyal subscribers. Let me see right quick. What else? We also got, I don't know if y'all been to Ripple. Come to their YouTube channel. If we come over to Ripple's YouTube channel, I'm just informing y'all. Go to Ripple YouTube channel. It's at Ripple on YouTube. They just released a ton of videos. Some of y'all know, and that's in Discord or whatnot. Some of y'all already knew this. Shout out to y'all. But they just released all these new videos yesterday. And if you're kind of techie, if you're trying to find a better understanding of how this blockchain and the XRP ledger works and what the development is, come to this channel. I just started yesterday, and it's a lot of videos. So whenever I'm working out or going for a walk or whatever, I'll pop this in and I'll just listen to it. Appreciate it, Excalibur. Appreciate it, Mark. Appreciate it. I appreciate y'all, man. It's, hey, gonna continue to grow. But the real value is inside of the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? The real value for those that are inside the Discord, inside the Patreon, y'all could just leave a comment and tell them what y'all are experiencing and what y'all have witnessed. I got people saying, shit, we're not even worried about crypto no more. We want to do this right here, which is we're trading the markets. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling out markets, and I'm right there with you step by step calling the markets. The NASDAQ, matter of fact, I'm going to go to it in a minute. We got a lot to cover. I got some time this afternoon. Tomorrow is a holiday, so we got some time. We got some time to kick it, and we can get into different little things. But right now, I just want to tell y'all about this Ripple. If y'all want to be further informed on what's going on the XRP ledger, they just had Apex, which I think is the fifth year of Apex 2025, and they got some interesting highlighted videos on their channel. So go check it out. And these videos got low views. These videos have low views, so not many people checking these videos out. If you're somebody who's in tech or you have experience in coding or programming, why not go get a job at Ripple? I'm just saying, you know, why not? But I'm not no super nerd like that, but sometimes I like to have a better grasp of the technology. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all right here. If y'all just joining, man, smash that like button. I definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Let me see right quick. What can I pull up? Foundation. Yo, props. 100% love. Appreciate it, Foundation. For the algorithm. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Definitely, definitely. So we kind of had a bit busy end of the quarter, a busy end of the second quarter. Right here at the midway point of the year. We are in the second half of the year. It is July, so that July 1st began the second half of the year. Things are heating up, you know what I'm saying? Like Ripple and Circle applying for bank licenses. So this came out yesterday. What today is? The 3rd? Yeah, this came out yesterday. Ripple filed an application for a notional banking license Wednesday, July the 2nd, with the Office of Comptroller of Currency, the OCC. A national trust bank charter would place Ripple's US dollar-backed stablecoin RLUSD within a remit of OCC, as well as the state oversight through a New York Department of Financial Services, to which is already subject. The Wall Street Journal reported Wednesday. I'm just looking for some highlights. I don't think this article has it. I want to find the one where they talking about. Let me see right quick. Ripple has applied for a notional banking license. Let me see. Okay, right here. RLUSD could gain Fed access through a master account application. That's a big deal right there. The RLUSD could gain federal access through master account application. On Wednesday or earlier this week, Ripple, through its partner Standard Custody, also applied for a Federal Reserve master account. This would allow the company to hold RLUSD reserves directly with the Fed. Garland House noted that this step could provide enhanced security and regulatory assurance for RLUSD, Ripple's upcoming stablecoin, especially as Congress continues to draft stablecoin legislation. The application comes at a time when the banks and regulators appear to be warming up to the digital asset integration, in contrast to the restrictive climate of earlier years like Operation Choke Point 2.0. Garland House emphasizes that Ripple infrastructure is built for institutional trust. A stablecoin market that exceeds 250 billion, RLUSD is positioning itself to be fully regulated, institution grade. RLUSD stands out for putting regulations first, setting the standard that institutions expect. That's what Brad Garland House said. So that's a big deal right there. They're applying for where they're getting access to a Federal Reserve master account. So that's interesting. I don't know who else has a master account with the Federal Reserve. Maybe BlackRock or somebody. I don't know. Also, Circle at the same time. Circle did this a day before. Circle applies for a national trust charter. So it's pretty much in the same ballpark with what Ripple is doing. They're both, I don't know if they're competing. Ripple allegedly tried to buy out Circle, but I don't know what's going on. But that's a big deal for both companies, Circle and Ripple. Of course, we know Circle is starting to break out and do crazy things with their stock. They just went to the market a few weeks ago. So Circle is doing big things. Let me see. Circle targets national trust. So it's pretty much the same thing. So there's a lot of articles with this. Circle and Ripple. So what does that tell y'all in the chat? What's up, Nelson? Nelson, you said I'm waiting for 5 more years. If y'all are just joining, man, smash that like button. I appreciate it, man. Share the video. If y'all want to get up in the Patreon, in the Discord, sign up. The link is in the chat. The link is pinned to the chat. Let me see right quick. Let's go over some prices. We got some action this week. Sin, what's good, ball? Chicago in the building. Shout out to Chicago. Y'all give me a quick roll call, man. Shout out to Chicago in the building. It probably is some good weather up there in Chicago right now. I need to get up to Chicago and go on the lake. I need to get up there and go onto the lake. Let me get a quick roll call. Y'all shout out where y'all from. City, state, country, region, whatever y'all want to shout out. Go ahead and shout that out. Go ahead and shout that out for me. What's y'all plans for the July 4th weekend if you celebrate that? What's y'all plans this tomorrow? Shout out to Ohio in the building. What's up, Night Owl? Shout out to you in the Discord. Shout out to New Jersey in the building. Shout out to Duke City, Albuquerque. Said the lake is the place to be, for sure. Say you're gonna smoke some meat tomorrow. You might want to get started with it today. You know that's gonna take all day. Might not start it tonight, unless you just enjoy doing it in the daytime. Shout out to you, Echelon though. Foundation, LA in the building. Germany, Thailand. Okay, you going all these places? Shout out to those places, man. Shout out to those places. If you just joining, man, we just kicking it, man. We just kicking it on this Friday. Excuse me. See, I'm off with my days. It's Thursday. I'm thinking it's Friday, but it's Thursday. We just kicking it. It's 4th of July Eve. Later on this evening, I'm probably gonna go purchase some fireworks for my son, and we gonna get it in. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get it in. Don't let off no gunshots though. Don't be out there shooting in the air and shit. But we definitely gonna get some fireworks. If you're not in the United States, that's how I go, man. 4th of July, you can't tell if it's gunshots or fireworks, especially where I live at. So it gets real in the field. Echelon, you said, yeah, you can you got a point. Thinking about going on a carnivorous diet for a while. till I lean up. It's an illusion. Shout out to you. Send my kids with my parents and celebrate some freedom with their mom. For sure, for sure. Appreciate y'all joining, man. We got XRP. Let's get into the prices. We got XRP currently trading at 227. We pretty much popped up. I'm going to get into it here shortly. We got some things to cover. We got XLM trading at 24 cents. We got XDC trading at 5 cents. We got HBAR on the move. This past month, I was acquiring a whole lot of HBAR, and now you're going to see in a minute what it's doing. It's 16 cents, and HBAR could pop. I ain't even going to lie. Bitcoin reaching for its all-time high. You already know. Once it's going to break it shortly. Maybe over the weekend. We shall see. But Bitcoin, it's really not far. It's 109,000. The previous all-time high is 112,000. So we're not even far from that. We're going to do that real soon. Most likely, we'll see. Maybe next week or maybe over the weekend. We shall see. Ethereum trading at 2,500. We got Algo trading at 18 cents. We got DAG trading at 3 pennies. 3 pennies. DAG still at a great opportunity. We got IOTA trading at 16 cents. We got ZBEC under a penny. We got ICP $5. We got Ondo 79 cents. We got Solana $152. We got Flare 1 penny. We got Cardano 60 cents. And we got Chainlink $13. Those are a few crypto assets that we're going over that I just went over. Maybe you hold some of those, or maybe you're looking to purchase at some point. Let's look at some stocks right quick. Echelon, you said I liquidated all my XLM, and that put that on XRP stack. Hold on, wait. Let me reread that. I liquidated my XLM and put that on my XRP stack. Okay, I got you. I just got my eye on XRP and HBAR right now. Cautious on ETH and BTC. For sure, man. If y'all not signed up to the Patreon, man, like Night Owl, you up in the building. Night Owl, come up here and talk about what we doing in the signal service inside of Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of y'all, why would you, I'm going to ask you this, Echelon, where did you purchase XLM, and then why did you sell it? I understand trying to get more XRP and focus on XRP, but you cannot sleep on XLM neither. But in the meantime, if y'all learn how to trade or sign up to my signal service, you will have no need of worrying about selling your bags, because we're in there making profits in other markets. Okay, so click that link if y'all interested, click that link in the comment section. It's pinned to the comment section. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So let's look at some stocks. Apple currently trading at $213. Nvidia trading at $159. Microsoft trading at $498. Microsoft broke out. Amazon $223. Meta $719. Tesla $315. Google $179. Palantir $134. Microsoft, let me see, Microsoft $498, almost $500. Berkshire Hathaway $485. Coinbase $355. Netflix kind of retracing $1,200. Oracle $237. Walmart $98. Broadcom $275. Circle $188. Night Owl, you said it's worth the subscription. What's up, Daryl? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you joining on this Thursday afternoon. It's an illusion. XLM, one of the few alts holding up his gains. Yep, that's why I understand. And also, XLM, one of them ones. XLM, bro, I'm telling you. I know Ripple, and there's a lot of other things going on right now. Circle, you better believe them stable coins are. Circle stablecoin is directly, the USDC is right there on the XLM, the Stellar network. it's only a few blockchains that these stable coins are running through. So why wouldn't you want to hold XLM? I do not know. I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. Foundation, you said still in Google and Apple short. You said you're in a Google and Apple short. Let me look at it. Come on back over here. You mean, are you selling like options contracts? You're trying to short it? Why would you try to short it when that shit only going up? For sure, USDC just went on the XRPL. It's only a handful. It's only like three blockchains, maybe 4 that USDC is running through. But it also at the same time, Circle does not have his own blockchain. Y'all know that, right? They don't have his own blockchain. They just got the technology for stable coins. Echelon. You said I got rid of my XLM because from what I've seen and read, XLM price isn't going to appreciate at the same rate XRP. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm not coming at you, Echelon, but you gotta, somebody fudded you. So what you pretty much saying right there, somebody shook you out of your bag. That's what you saying. Because somebody else said that you got shook out because of the price. That's why I say sign up to the Patreon, man. Sign up to the Patreon. You get further insight on price. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody shook you up out of that. Ripple and Circle is tight, but you better believe Stellar and Circle is tight as well. Stellar and Circle is tight. They all tight. They all working together. You know why? Interoperability. Hopefully I said that right. Interoperability. Okay, that's why they working together. It's not gonna be one blockchain running it all. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be different networks creating one major network. Okay, so why would you sell one of the most valuable assets on the? Come on now. But it is what it is. It's an illusion. July 14th, FedWire goes live. FedWire goes live. That's a big deal. We got a lot going on this month alone. Whole lot going on this month alone. Let me see right quick. Before I come to the charts, let me see what I got for y'all. Oh, I just seen this. Shout out to y'all in the Discords. This just happened, popped up about an hour ago maybe. The week of July 14th through the 18th. Let me come to the economic calendar. So this is not the first official week in the markets for July, okay? We're going to skip to next week. So next week, the 6th through the 12th, we got a light week. And then the second week of July, right here, the 13th through the 19th. There's a lot of high impact news that week. We're going to get into it. If y'all in the Patreon, you understand how we use this. Sign up to the Patreon. So this is the week that the House or Congress, they consider this crypto week, the 14th through the 18th. July 14th through the 18th will be crypto week. During this week right here, I guess they're going to be passing the Clarity Act. They got the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, and they got the Genius Act. So this is going to be a big week right here, the second week of July, 14th through the 18th. For y'all that stay on top of this, shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all informing me about this, but this is going to be a big week right here. We're going to be watching price closely as well. Jew, XRP, XLM. I'm going to go over all that. We got people in here selling XLM. I'm going to go over all that in a minute. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, Jude. If y'all are just joining, man, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. But like I said, the week of July 14th through the 18th, this is going to be considered crypto week. This is going to be a major week following these acts and these bills or whatnot. Anti-CBDC Act. Here in a minute, I'm going to play a video from David Schwartz. And he was just saying like, we're not going with it's been decided that we're not going to have CBDCs. Now, it might change in the future, but right now, in the living time, right now in this moment in time, we're not going to have CBDCs. If you don't know, those are programmable. And I'm guessing for retail. Those are programmable currencies that is pretty much the end game. If they was to go with this, programmable CBDCs would have been the end game for everybody. That means a complete tyranny. I'm gonna say that, a complete tyranny. But we're not going with that though. That's a good thing. But let's come over here. Let me see. Let's get through some news headlines. The first video I want to play is from David Schwartz. We need to dive a little bit into. I don't know if y'all know what y'all invested in. I mean, we got people in here selling valuable assets, but you don't know what you invested in. Y'all tell me in the chat, are y'all, are you just in XRP for the money, or are you in it for something different? Y'all let me know in the chat. Are y'all in it for the long run? Do you truly know what it is? You know what I'm saying? Are you truly invested into the technology, or are you just looking for a quick flip? It's going to tell here whenever price starts to go higher, it's definitely going to tell. You know what I'm saying? When price starts to go higher, it's definitely going to tell who's going to be selling and who's going to be holding on to their assets. Okay, but let's listen to David Schwartz right quick. It's an illusion. You say you investing for your legacy. Hey, let's get an update with David Schwartz.
It's been a packed few days here in Singapore.
One second, I'm gonna come to this video in a minute. That's not the one I wanted to watch. 1 second. Bring this one up. All right, here we go.
Super excited to be here. The 5th year of Apex. 5th year Ripple's done it, 5th year I've done it. Welcome to everyone, developers, investors, students, entrepreneurs, representatives of institutions. Everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Super excited to be here. I've shown this slide at every single Apex. It shows that the XRP ledger, the growth is real. It shows a shift and scale over more than 13 years. 3.3 billion transactions processed, 6 million plus active wallets, secured by more than 800 nodes and more than 180 independent validators. It's a proven track record of reliability and decentralization. So this is a shift that we're seeing. Institutions are moving from pilots into production. Yesterday, we had the announcement of digital commercial paper live on XRPL. Real assets are coming on chain. Commercial paper, treasuries, money market funds, stable coins. All of these things are happening today on the XRP ledger. And this isn't box checking. This isn't another DeFi fad. This is a massive, massive opportunity. These institutions are adopting layer 1 blockchains because they see the advantages of the decentralization and the governance. These institutions will be innovation accelerators. They don't own the XRP ledger. They don't want to run the XRP ledger. They want to participate on an open blockchain. The trustworthy infrastructure brings more building blocks to more developers. The best example of this that we can all see clearly is stablecoins. There is not a more institutional product than stablecoins in existence. They're launched by institutions. Their direct customers are institutions. But we've seen billions of dollars of DeFi impact from these stablecoins. These stablecoins are used for collateral, for payment, for loans, in trustless ecosystems on public layer 1s. Institutional products provide the tools for developers to build on top. And the XRP ledger is evolving to support these real institutional financial use cases without losing its core values. The whole point is to provide tools that will enable the next wave of retail mass adoption DeFi. Joining me on stage is Jazzy Cooper, RippleX's head of product, driving our institutional DeFi vision. Jazzy?
Thanks, David. It's true, we're at a turning point. Public chains were once seen as too risky for institutions, and now it's too risky for institutions not to integrate them with their business. Institutions have truly embraced blockchain and are finally launching real products on public chains, including the XRP ledger. And XRPL is evolving to meet that demand. Over the past year, a number of key features have gone live, ranging from the automated market maker to decentralized identity, price oracles, and clawback. And we have others that are still in voting: credentials, MPTs, permission domains. These features are foundational infrastructure for building secure, transparent, and scalable financial products. And we're not just modernizing finance, we're making it more inclusive, accessible, and programmable. And we're finally seeing real traction. XRPL is supporting real-world applications ranging from payments to yield generation, all decentralized and at scale. Let's take a look at what this growth looks like on-chain. David?
I've shown this slide at every Apex, twice at this one, apparently. But the momentum is real. This shows how the XRP ledger has scaled for more than 13 years. 3.3 billion transactions processed, more than 6 million active wallets, secured by more than 800 nodes, more than 180 independent validators. This is a proven track record of reliability and decentralization. But I think you'll notice there's one thing on there that hasn't been on there before. There's something new on this slide. Jazzy?
Institutional adoption. It's here and now measurable on-chain. XRPL has finally broken into the top 10 chains for real-world assets, with nearly 120 million RWAs live on-chain today. Some examples include money market funds issued by Archax, treasuries issued.
How many she said is on chain right now? I had to replay that back. I'm gonna catch that one more time. Let me see. That's insane.
XRPL has finally broken into the top 10 chains for real-world assets, with nearly 120 million RWAs live on.
She said 120 million real-world assets on the XRP ledger right now. 120 million. What y'all think about that, man? And then if it's 120 million on there right now and the price is only $2.26, how many more assets are gonna go on chain? Danny, you said it's just a start. Shout out to you, Danny, and shout out to you, Ryan. You said it's just a start. You already know that price is suppressed. Y'all know that, right? That price is definitely suppressed. Which we know that. I'm just saying, like, it's with 120 million real world assets on chain. Let me show y'all this right quick one more time. The transactions flowing through the ledger. I'm gonna show y'all right quick, 1 second, and then we're gonna come back to this video. Or let me do this right quick. So this is transactions flowing to the XRP ledger right now. Okay, this is real time. Over here on the left, it says stable in fiat. And on chain, look at how fast the stablecoin transactions are going right now on the network. Okay, look how fast that is going because it's on the network. And then look at the fiat transactions, which are pretty much like way slower. Okay, transactions are going, but it's way slower than on-chain transactions. And on top of that, she said we got 120 million real-world assets on chain. And then Danny, you said we're just getting started. So what happens when this shit really goes crazy? And we got people selling out of their assets and all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? We got people selling their assets, selling tokens, selling XRP, trying to buy ZBEC and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, are y'all not understanding what's going on? I think a lot of people gonna sell themselves short right before the big moment, which is damn near here. Night Owl, you said most are unwise to what is going on. Wow, yes. ZZ, You say NQ is better than XRP. ZZ. For y'all don't know, ZZ is in the Patreon. He is in the Discord. And he's been exposed to some high level technical analysis. Shout out to you though, ZZ. He's been exposed to some high level TA. So that's why he's saying NQ is better than XRP, because I'm taking him into a traditional market and showing him how to make money right now. Because a lot of y'all need that money right now. Y'all ready for that big payday for XRP, when in reality, you don't have to be waiting for XRP to get this money. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to sign up to the Patreon, the link is pinned to the comment section and in the description. So sign up to that if y'all want to know further insight. It's an illusion. You said yield. But ZZ, when you say NQ is better than XRP, if y'all don't know what NQ is, that's the NASDAQ traditional market in the futures market. They all powerful together. When you understand the skill set and learn the skill set that I have, and you also have an understanding of technology and the way the world is going with these ledgers and blockchains and artificial intelligence, and you learn the power of technical analysis, you learn the power of trading, it don't matter what market we in, we're going to eat in all markets. We're going to eat directly on chain. We're going to eat directly dealing with these digital assets. If they want to start allowing us to do DeFi, we're going to eat in that. We're going to eat in every market. Okay. Money is everywhere. But I'm not going to say trading is better than XRP. No, you got to know what XRP is. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what this shit is. Now, if you're talking about price performance and you need money, like, I can't explain it, man. Y'all gotta just dive into my world. What I'm doing right here. I'm exposing y'all to my world. What's up, Gabrielle? Appreciate you joining. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the Patreon, man. Shout out to everybody in the Discord. Let me see. But yeah, like I was saying, these are the transactions flowing on Ledger right now. This lady that I was just watching, she pretty much said there's 110 or 120 million RWAs on the XRP Ledger right now in this moment. And the catalyst is, in my honest opinion, regulations. That's the catalyst. Let's come back to the video.
On-chain today. Some examples include money market funds issued by Archax, treasuries issued by OpenEden, and now DCP by Guggenheim, the first digital commercial paper on the XRPL. Stablecoins as well, there's RLUSD by Ripple, USDB issued by Braza Bank, as well as legacy tokens like USD GateHub and USD Bitstamp. These aren't experiments, they're live regulated financial products on the blockchain, and the pipeline ahead continues to be strong. DLD, the Dubai Land Authority, issuing their trust, Ondo's OUSG token, SocGen's Euro stablecoin. So now we'll take a look at why the XRPL, what makes it uniquely suited for these financial applications.
You know, I hear that a lot. What makes the XRP ledger different? What is the XRP ledger's purpose? Well, it was built for a purpose. Many blockchains were built for different purposes. Bitcoin, the first blockchain, designed to be digital scarcity, a store of value, a means of exchange. What can you do with the Bitcoin blockchain? You can hold and transfer Bitcoin. That's useful, but that's about all it does. Ethereum went completely in the opposite direction with smart contracts and open-ended programmability. It kind of made an app store approach for blockchain where you can build and launch your own applications from the ground up on the blockchain. The XRP ledger carves a niche in the middle. It was designed in 2012 specifically for financial applications, focusing first on payments. The architecture prioritizes speed and reliability, low-cost transactions and predictable transaction costs, and seamless enterprise-grade integration. It wasn't trying to do everything.
I got to pause it for a minute. I got to acknowledge Daryl. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Daryl. I appreciate it. I just got monetized. I didn't even know. I've been monetized. Well, I've been eligible of monetization on my channel. I didn't realize it. But now I'm monetized, and I pretty much set that up yesterday, and now I'm monetized. But I appreciate everybody signing up to the, I appreciate everybody that's sending I guess gifts or donations or whatever. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'm providing value to you as well. So hopefully you learned a lot from me as well. But I definitely appreciate the what is it called? A super chat or super? I appreciate it. I'm new to all this. That just tells me that my channel is growing. So I couldn't be there without y'all and y'all showing up every time. So I definitely appreciate it. So let me see. Okay, I appreciate it. Let's continue with the video.
But it was focused on targeting real-world financial use cases exceptionally well. So what are those real-world financial use cases? Well, it built that core set of financial functions like issuing assets, sending and receiving payments, trading via DEX, credit origination, all at the protocol level. So there was no need for added layers, no need for developing smart contracts, none of the risks or costs associated with smart contracts. With fewer moving parts, fewer risks, and better performance, it was easier for developers. What did that look like? Finality of around 4 or 5 seconds, fees way under a penny and predictable, and no protocol level breaches in more than 10 years. But beyond speed, the tools were significant as well. Built-in compliance tools like issuer controls, transfer restrictions, native aggregated liquidity through order books and now the AMM, growing cross-chain interoperability. Bottom line, institutions and retail developers get production-grade financial infrastructure, ready to integrate with simple APIs. They don't have to rebuild the stack.
To support institutional DeFi on the XRP ledger, we're drilling into 4 primary verticals where we're looking to build new features, and together we believe these can serve as the rails for a new financial system. The first, the leftmost column, is tokenization, the bedrock of on-chain finance. You can't move, manage, or expand value on-chain without first bringing it there. So our goal here is to offer a variety of different token standards that can meet the requirements of nearly any asset class, whether that's real estate, currencies, or crypto-native assets. Multi-purpose tokens is one example of this. It's a new token standard that was purpose-built to support real-world assets, with support for metadata, access controls required for utility, and compliance. Trading is the second column here. Once you bring value on-chain, the ability to exchange it is table stakes. The XRPL has, of course, had a built-in order book-based DEX for over a decade, and now we're expanding upon that with features like the automated market making as well as the permission DEX. Payments, of course, is the bread and butter of the XRP ledger. And there's support for everything from lightning-fast peer-to-peer payments with nearly instant settlement anywhere in the world to advanced features like cross-currency payments, payment channels, and programmable checks. These are built for real-world payment needs, and we see this use case finally really taking off today, particularly with stablecoins, which we'll talk more about shortly. Lending, finally, is the last column here. Credit, of course, is a cornerstone of the financial system, and it powers everything from daily spend to institutional growth. This is a core vertical that we need to solve for, and so we're adding a native lending protocol on XRPL that will support credit origination on-chain, as well as over-collateralized lending, starting with the EVM sidechain and hopefully mainnet in the future as well. These are designed to meet both the needs of DeFi users as well as institutions that require risk and compliance.
All of these capabilities tie together to provide a strong developer foundation. Liquidity through built-in order books, auto-bridging across assets, and now the AMM. Native liquidity providing efficiency for payments, trading, and lending. Compliance built in at the protocol level with features like transfer restrictions, issuer controls, and trust lines. Institutions can meet their regulatory requirements right on a public Layer 1 blockchain. Programming providing expanding capability, which we'll see soon. Preserving the efficient infrastructure, the low fees, the fast settlement, the reliable performance, and the simple APIs so teams can focus on the application, not the back-end complexity.
Hey, man, we here, bro. We here. We here. I appreciate it, DH. You said you listen to boss videos, play in the background all day and night. Let's get this time, watch time out. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. But nah, we are here, y'all. We are definitely here. It's just we need to get through these next few months. We need to get through the regulations, which next in 2 weeks we got crypto week. So through the 14th through the 16th, they are considering that crypto week. Well, I'm assuming, y'all let me know, y'all in the chat that keep up with it, are they going to be passing the bills? Let me bring that back up right quick. 1 second. Y'all in the chat on this week right here, the July the 14th through the 18th, are they going to be passing these bills, or are they, what phase are they in? And then when is Donald Trump looking to sign off on these bills? Like, is he going to sign off on them in August, or is he going to do it in July? Y'all tell me in the chat. Especially for y'all that keep up with this on the day-to-day. Excalibur, you said, I think they're expecting to pass them. Okay. Gabrielle, you said the Genius Bill would get passed in the House, then to Trump. The others would have to go through the Senate, then to Trump. Okay. Are they trying to get this done? Is Trump going to be signing off, which I'm not. Is Trump going to be trying to look to sign off on these in July? Or is it going to have to wait through August? I'm just trying to get a little timeline for y'all that keep up with this. I can't keep, for y'all that's in the Patreon and the Discord, I be locked in. That's what I do every day. I be locked in into the markets, trading, etc. So I don't really have the extra energy to keep up with Congress on a day-to-day. So I appreciate y'all that keep up with this because y'all are informing me. Excalibur, you said Trump's deadline to them was to have the stablecoin bill be done before they leave for break. Okay. When do they leave for break, Excalibur? Probably won't happen until they get back from the summer break. Okay, which is it? Before they go to the break or after? Gabrielle, you said the Genius Bill is July. The others will be in September. Not September. I thought it was going to be August. But it is what it is. Hey. That all of this, pretty much the XRP ledger and the other blockchains, they're pretty much ready to roll. They ready to go. You know what I'm saying? They ready to go. As you listen to David Schwartz right here, he's telling y'all, like, I think the window is pretty much done. Ryan, you said stablecoin would be done before break and the rest after. Okay. Gabrielle, you said September is the new timeline that came from the White House. Okay. Their break is all of August. Okay. Sin, shout out to you, Sin. He wanted the bill to pass by August before their recess. But y'all are telling me it's looking like September. That if it does go into September, July, August, September, that will be the end of the third quarter going into the fourth quarter. So that's aligning perfect. So fourth quarter, first quarter of 2025, that's aligning perfect far as the technicals are looking at. I'm going to get into it here shortly. Again, if y'all just joining, I got time tonight. We just chilling. You know what I'm saying? This evening, I don't have really no structured path on this live stream. I'm just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kicking it. I might not go live until probably, let me see, maybe Saturday, definitely Sunday. If I don't go live again, definitely Sunday. But right now, we got time. We can kick it. We can chat. It's an illusion. You said, who knows? Those fools barely work, for sure. I agree with you. That's why. Look at the Ripple case. That shit should have been over with. The Ripple SEC case. They dragging that shit out. So why wouldn't Congress drag that shit out as well? So I'm going to say this. Lower your expectations. Expect a later date. That will solve everything. Lower your expectations. And then expect at a later date, sometime in the year. Not when you expect it, though. Okay? That just keeps you from stressing out about this shit, thinking about it all day. Like, damn, they need to hurry the hell up. No, this shit already done. Banks and institutions are ready to go. They ready to use these blockchains, okay? They ready. They ready. Now it's a timing thing. On whose time? The powers that be. Daryl, you said CBDC. Let me reread. Let me go up right quick. Gabrielle, you said San Hargity. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Said September last week. Gabrielle's right. Genius bill before the break in August. The other bills in September. Okay. So regardless, by the fourth quarter. I'm gonna say that. By the fourth quarter. Daryl, you said Eleanor Terry posted on X saying the House dubbed the week of July 14th Crypto Week. The week Genius Act, Clarity Act, and Anti-CBDC Act will be voted on. Guess we'll see. And that's what I was just looking at right here. You know what I'm saying? The Crypto Week, July 14th to the 18th. So maybe they expedited. Who knows? Shit, I don't know. I don't know. Everything is all over the place. You don't know what source to rely on. Night Owl, you said it would have been if the judge would have given the okay. Man, I hear you. Jude, Q4, wake up when September ends. No, Jude, sign up to the Patreon. Sign up to the Patreon. We ain't waiting on nothing. Sign up to the Patreon. We're not gonna wait on nothing. We're gonna be active. We're gonna occupy our time before June. That's what we're doing in the Patreon. So definitely sign up to the Patreon. The link is pinned to the chat. Daryl, CBDC. Gabrielle, you said the Clarity Act in CBDC still needs to go on the Senate. So we're just waiting it out. We're waiting it out. We'll get there, y'all. We pretty much are like, we could see the finish line. It's right there. Like we in the distance and we on that last leg of our sprint, okay? It's been a multi-year marathon. So we on that last leg where we can actually see the white and black ribbon, the checkered white and black ribbon at the end of the finish line. We can see it. Now we got to push through. We got to push through and get there. So we almost there. Y'all just hold on and we'll get there. Okay, Drew, you said you're already in the Patreon. Okay, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Okay, let me see right quick. Let's come back to the video, getting through David Schwartz and what he got to say. Let's come back over here.
Let's zoom out a little bit and take a look at the broader market dynamics. DeFi today is about 120 billion TVL, primarily driven by crypto-native use cases like over-collateralized lending. This is innovative, no doubt, but it's niche. By 20...
Pause. Lenny, you did not have to do, I appreciate it, Lenny. You did not have to do that, Lenny. Lord, Lenny, you're already in the, you in the Patreon. You were definitely in the Patreon, but I definitely appreciate it. But Lenny, appreciate it. That's amazing. If y'all just joining, I just became monetized, and I definitely appreciate y'all, man. I definitely appreciate y'all. I'm actually speechless. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually speechless. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm speechless because I feel like being in the Patreon is you getting the value anyway. So you did not have to do that. So definitely appreciate it. Let me continue.
33, we project to see 19 trillion in tokenized assets on the blockchain. That's serious institutional adoption. But even that compared to the $130 trillion global credit market. So the opportunity here is clear. It's not to take a small slice of the existing DeFi pie, but it's for us to expand the pie by building infrastructure to unify crypto innovation with real-world finance. Institutions can also benefit from monetizing their rails with increased transparency, speed, and efficiency, all of which blockchain offers.
These institutional assets will bring new sources of liquidity to the ecosystem, creating predictable flows and higher volume across the DEX. Developers will have access to high-quality collateral and enterprise tools, opening doors for new applications like tokenized lending markets, cross-border payment rails, and innovations we haven't even imagined yet. This is not a shift away from DeFi or the community. This is about expanding the toolkit, making the XRP ledger more capable for everyone building on it.
So what are institutions actually looking to build on-chain today? There are 3 use cases I want to call out today that are rising to the top, and we're really leaning into them. The first is stablecoin-based payments. This shouldn't be a surprise. It's already live on XRPL today, both the feature set as well as actual applications that have volume. And these power compliant cross-border payments. The average cost today to send a $200 payment, for example, on traditional rails is about just over 6%. The cost to do this using stablecoins drops down to 0.5% to 3%. So it really just cuts the cost in half, and this is a no-brainer. Collateral management is the second use case we're seeing gain a lot of traction. Today, only a fraction of eligible assets are usable as collateral, and moving these assets is slow, expensive, and full of friction. Tokenization changes this entirely. On-chain collateral can move in real time, peer-to-peer, with full transparency and programmability. If we take a look at the scale of this opportunity, there's currently about $255 trillion worth of marketable securities worldwide, and only about 30 trillion of these are actively used as collateral. By bringing these onto the blockchain, adding liquidity, and reducing counterparty risk, the opportunity here is clear. Finally, trade finance. This is another big use case that continues to be growing on the blockchain. Right now, trade finance is slow, fragmented, and paper-heavy. Deals rely on physical.
Hey now, wait a minute now. Y'all just heard what she said? This is crazy now. So she just said trade finance is on the network. It's on the blockchain for XRP Ledger, which, damn, did I miss that about? Pretty much Ripple is going after the trade finance market, so is Stellar. So where does that leave XDC? Where does that leave? You just heard the Excalibur. This directly from Ripple. This is directly from Ripple. Trade finance, which is I want to say a $15 to $25 trillion market, which if it's that much, I'm not gonna lie. If that market is that huge, I believe they all can eat. You get what I'm saying? I believe Ripple, I believe Stellar, I believe XinFin, and whatever of the blockchain, I feel like they all can eat off of that $15 to $25 trillion market, okay? But that's new information to me, or I don't know if I'm missing something, but Ripple going after trade finance. Ripple going after trade finance. So that might make people want to scratch their head for the people that's invested into, like, I'm talking about heavily into like XDC. From a ROI perspective, a return on investment perspective, do you actually need to be spread out into all these different assets, or can you reduce, could you narrow or cut down at how many assets you in into just pretty much one or two solid blockchains? And that's what I've been doing for a while. I've been I don't push that on people, but I can, like I always tell y'all, I can't be spread out to all these blockchains. I need to have at least 3. And right now I'm only invested in 3 blockchains, okay? Or 3 digital networks, or whatever you want to call it, 3 digital assets. But by Ripple going after the trade finance market, that makes me reconsider and reevaluate certain things, because Ripple is already handling and XRP is already handling so much already. That's big news. Let me read these comments. Gabrielle, you said spot on. XDC pie is getting ate up. Man, XDC, it's been real quiet over there. Not saying they're not going to be around, because I feel like these markets are huge, and I feel like a handful can survive. But the way it's looking, like, it looks like Ripple is going to absorb everything. I'm not even going to lie. It looks like Ripple is going to just take everything and leave crumbs. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. That's what it seems like. Okay, let me read these comments. Excalibur, maybe the best blockchain win. Daryl, on the ledger, yes, on the ledger, Daryl. That's what's up. You said, then what's up with price? Well, you know they suppressing the price, Daryl. They suppressing the price. Gabrielle, I think Ripple is setting all of trade finance, but XDC is tokenized all the contracts ahead of the XRPL selling it. Okay, Lenny, that's a big point, Gabrielle. Lenny, you said R3 used to be partnered with XDC, but I think they are using the XRP now. Man, hopefully my damn power, we about to have a storm outside. If my power randomly goes out, okay, I'm coming right back as soon as the power come back on. Man, hope my lights just flickered and we got a storm. If you know about South Louisiana, anything knocks the power out. So I'm hoping we keep the power, okay? So forgive me if I get knocked out. But I'm reading the comments. Lenny, you said R3 is partnered with XDC. Okay, I read that. Excalibur, you said good point, Gabrielle. Night Owl, you said yep. Naquan, shout out to you, Naquan. Heard about Link 2. Yes, but I'm not going to, okay, with a raise of hands, who was all invested in Link 2 in the building? Which I wasn't in it, because me personally, I consider myself a millennial, and I kind of understand tech a little better. Like, I feel like the people that went in all in on Link 2 and shares of companies, that wasn't my mindset, because I'm a trader. I know how to go get money by trading, and also I'm an enthusiast on cryptocurrency in these blockchains. So I lean more towards investing in the commodity, because this is what these are. These assets are commodities. They have public use and utility for everybody. So that makes it a commodity. I don't need a security. I'd rather have the commodity, because commodities are way more valuable than securities. You actually hold the assets, okay? So I always had that mindset. So I never steered to the Link 2 shit. But if you've been hurt with Link 2, hopefully you can you get that resolved. I'm praying for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you can shake back from that. It's effed up, but that's why you don't always flock to the herd. You know what I'm saying? You don't always want to flock. You need to do your own research. You want to take your time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to get into that. That's not my specialty. I'm not even going to get into that. But I appreciate you asking, Naquan. R3 is still partnered with XDC, other blockchain, but they are using XRP to settle exclusively. Night Owl. Ripple are the new game makers. Yes. If y'all don't know, if y'all just joined, we already went over it. Ripple has applied for a banking license along with Circle, and that's a big deal. So that lets you know Ripple is a banking institution. Okay, it's a fintech bank. So with Circle. Gabrielle, you said XDC does smart contracts for R3. So at first, Ripple, man, I'm gonna play another video with David Schwartz from Apex. And he said there's a feature on there. There's so many features on the XRP ledger that doesn't even get promoted. Okay, it's so many features. Only ones we know is stable coins, cross-border payments, tokenization. We just heard a minute ago trade finance, but it's so many more features directly on the ledger that does not even get promoted. I just learned this myself from watching these videos on Ripple's YouTube channel. Okay, so if I advise y'all, Ripple just dropped like shit. I don't even know how. It looks like they dropped over 30 videos on their YouTube channel. And if y'all want to get further insight on what they're doing with the XRP ledger, go over to their channel, click the video, and start watching. Lenny, I have shares in Ripple through Link 2. Lenny, did you take? I mean, I don't know much about it. I know that people need their money, but Lenny, are you being made whole? Have you got what's your answers? Like, what kind of feedback? What are you going through right now? That's what I'm trying to ask. What are you going through at this moment? Excalibur, Codius with their smart contract platform. Yes, XRP ledger. There's so many things on the XRP ledger, man. There's so many things. Let's come back to the video. Let's get through this video, and then we're going to get to the charts, y'all. We're going to get to the charts. Again, if y'all just joined, I'm just kicking it this afternoon. I got time. Tomorrow's a holiday. Sometime tonight, I'm going to go outside and pop some fireworks. So I'm just kicking it. We're gonna fly by this. Let's get through this.
Documents, manual reconciliation. By tokenizing these documents using escrows and on-chain settlement, we can streamline this entire process. You can have real-time verification, automated payments, as well as reduce counterparty risk. This is where blockchain delivers immediate, measurable impact by cutting costs, shortening cycles, and unblocking working capital.
With these enterprise products on the chain, new use cases will open up for developers and the broader community in the retail DeFi space. With institutions bringing tokenized real estate, fractional ownership will be possible. Users will be able to have small portions of large real estate portfolios, bringing liquidity to traditional illiquid markets. Loyalty rewards could be used as digital assets, flexible, brand agnostic, things like airline credits and interoperable point systems. And all of this taking advantage of XRPL's core features with fast, low-cost payment, efficient settlement, whether it's real estate, rewards, NFTs, or social tokens. The big picture is institutional growth isn't closing doors to retail adoption or retail DeFi development. It's building the infrastructure that the entire ecosystem will use to innovate for future DeFi products.
Excalibur, you said, well, they can tokenize documents too. And then you said XDC might be in trouble. That's what I'm saying. So when I read, who remember a few months ago, I forgot when, like a month, I forget when it was, maybe a few months ago, I was raising the alarm about XDC because I seen Stellar announce that they can tokenize documents, and Stellar has a liquidity token, XLM, on the Stellar blockchain, and they can do pretty much trade finance. And then I was like, damn, well, shit, XDC is in trouble. Okay. I said, they're not going to dominate that market by themselves. And then now here we got Ripple announcing that they can do trade finance. Oh, man. Oh, man. You say you remember that? For sure, for sure. But hey, y'all better look at your portfolio. This ain't financial advice neither. If I was you and I got like over six or more different assets, I'm going to be trying to narrow that down to about 3, okay? Maybe 3. Because a lot of y'all that's watching ain't rich yet. That's why a lot of y'all needing that money right now. Y'all ready for price to do something right now. But a lot of y'all aren't rich. Some of y'all rich, but a lot of y'all ain't rich. So in order to maximize your return on investment, you might have to reduce so many assets down to a handful, less than a handful, 2 or 3 at most. And you're going to maximize that return on investment because that's a big deal, man. That's a big deal.
These are some of the features that Ripple is proposing and expecting in 2025, and we're going to dive deeper into some of these. I want to make the point that this is not just Ripple-led. Many of these features, like token escrow and batch transactions, come from community developers like Dennis at XRPL Labs. XRPL's development process is open. If an idea solves a real problem and the community supports it, it can get adopted. Toolkits of features are starting to come together. Simulate transaction with account permissions, more developer control, better user experience. Smart escrow, vaults, and the lending protocol provide the foundations for on-chain credit. The permission DEX with multi-purpose tokens enables compliant trading and programmable token behavior, like non-transferable tokens or gated access. No single feature is a silver bullet, but together they make the XRP ledger composable, flexible, and powerful for building real-world financial applications. You're going to need to be able to combine them.
This is what's really special and exciting about our current approach to building new protocols like the permission DEX and lending protocol. It's modular. We're not building monolithic end-to-end protocols, but rather these are building blocks that are on the protocol layer, or you can think of them as money Legos, which can be pieced together in many different ways. This is how XRPL can become truly composable. Let's look at an example flow. If you start with an MPT token, for example, to create custom asset logic, say non-transferable or limited transferability tokens, you can deposit these into a single asset vault, and now you have programmable collateral or trust minimized lending. From there, you can leverage permission domains for compliant access control or keep the protocol entirely permissionless. The end result here is infrastructure that supports regular DeFi, institutional DeFi, or something new entirely. It's truly up to the developer.
Permission DEX is a feature I'm personally very excited about. It builds on one of the XRP ledger's core strengths, native payments and trading right at the protocol layer. The XRP ledger's built-in DEX has always enabled seamless access exchange, but access has always been wide open. The permission DEX introduces more fine-grained controls over who can interact with what, based on credentials, jurisdictions, or other criteria. It's the same DEX infrastructure, but extended. It's not fragmented. It's not centralized. This unlocks new flexibility. You can issue unrestricted or constrained assets. You can have compliance rules, gated access, enterprise loyalty programs. It doesn't close off innovation, but expands what developers can build by letting them define asset behavior and market rules on their terms. Institutions can define permission domains on the XRP ledger and set rules around who can interact with what. And this won't just be institutions interacting with other institutions. The rule to get into a permission domain might just be that you're not a terrorist. So all of you guys, well, probably not that guy, but all of you guys will be able to interact with these permission domains. There's no new infrastructure. Offers go to the native DEX, but they only execute if counterparties meet the domain rules. It's decentralized, compliance-friendly, adds control without adding fragmentation or centralized custody.
And one important point to highlight is this isn't a walled garden like we've seen attempted and failed in other instances. It's not a private chain or completely isolated DEX protocol. It's a gated section of the existing public decentralized exchange, which has tremendous advantages. For example, users that are eligible to participate both in the permission DEX as well as the primary open DEX can participate in both and arbitrage the two systems for financial gain, equalizing them and creating a more liquid market on both sides.
The permission DEX isn't a new system. It's built on the existing DEX with enhanced access controls. In this example, we see two offers, one inside a permission domain, one outside it. They could both be made by the same person. They could both use XRP as the source of liquidity. But when a trade is made, a sell placed by somebody within the domain, a buy offer from another verified participant can match it. But offers outside the domain are blocked. On ledger, enforced by the XRP ledger protocol, with no central gatekeeper required. This enables regulated marketplaces for trading real-world assets, supports compliant settlement for tokenized treasuries, stablecoins, or other real-world assets, unlocking global on-off ramps for regulated financial products, extending, not fragmenting, the native DEX.
This is another protocol that I'm especially excited about is the lending protocol. This is a core.
All right, she about to talk about another protocol. So normally when I watch these videos, and like I said, let me show y'all right quick. If y'all just joining, if y'all go to YouTube, and let me show y'all right quick. And normally I do this when I'm in the shower. Who all wakes up in the morning and watch y'all favorite crypto videos in the shower or on your drive or your commute to wherever you going to work or whatnot, or on your walk or while you're working out? That's when I watch these videos, and I try to have a better understanding of how this blockchain shit works. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no tech person, but I have understanding. You know what I'm saying? I have understanding. Lately, I've been studying tech stuff. But if y'all come to YouTube, go to Ripple's channel. These videos don't have a lot of views at all. Okay, so they recently just dumped. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, about 18 rows. Let me do the math right quick. So Ripple just dropped like 72 videos, like damn near 72 videos of content on their channel. And if you are new, or if you've been around for a while, you know Ripple doesn't do a lot of videos on their channel. Well, I'm not familiar, but they normally don't. I don't know, but they just dropped like 72 videos in one day on their channel. I think they got AI to do it. So whenever you're bored and you want to learn more about the XRP ledger, come to their channel, and it's damn near free resources. Let me see. Let me read right quick. Oh, y'all say y'all do. Y'all pretty much take a shower and listen. I do it every day, bro. Because I'm constantly trying to learn. I'm constantly trying to pick up more information and learn. Lucy B, you said that's why it's so hard to catch you live. It's all good, Lucy. It's all good. But you catch me now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I'm doing, man. Every day I'm trying to just take in more information. And they just gave me a bunch of content to listen to when I got spare time. So if we go back over to this video, they're about to talk about lending protocols on the network. Okay, this is all tech talk, whatnot. I'm not no techie person. I just understand. Okay, but these are things you might want to learn, because if y'all haven't seen it, let me show y'all right quick. Come back. Showed it to y'all a minute ago. Right here. Okay. This is the XRP net. This is the XRP ledger. All the transactions flowing on the network. So if you are in this crypto space, and some of y'all just want money, y'all just want the asset appreciation out of. Some of y'all just want the asset appreciation out of it. But why not take it to another extent and further learn the technology? Okay, some of y'all just thinking this shit is just an investment. It's more than. We are in the first time in history able to invest into direct technology. And once you put your money into the network, that shit is sitting on the blockchain, okay? You're in the blockchain. So if your money is tied up in the blockchain, like most of y'all don't even know. I'm not most of y'all, I ain't gonna say that. Some of y'all who are buying these digital assets, and that's why I don't understand people investing into random shit. No, if you were invested in things like XRP, XLM, and certain blockchains, this is what it looks like on the network. Over on the left, we got stable coin transactions. You could tell that the network speed is way faster than fiat transactions. People going to exchanges, buying these assets directly on exchanges. And you can see Upbit, Coinbase. Those transaction times are slower, okay? Way slower compared to the network, stablecoin transactions, okay? Shit just speeding up directly on chain. Y'all see that? So why not sit here and take the time to actually learn how to operate on the network? Because it's a different world. We're going into a different reality. Y'all are early on in this asset class. Y'all are early investors. Okay, y'all are early investors. So why not understand what your money can do on the network? See that? Transaction speeds. A lot of USDC, a lot of USDT. Okay, I don't see RLUSD because you know why? Why don't you see, y'all tell me in the chat. And this is public. Why don't you see RLUSD on here? I just need a quick answer. All I see is USDC and USDT stablecoin transactions. But why don't you see RLUSD on here? I need somebody to answer that. Anybody? Gabrielle, you said Reg's not ready? Okay, let me ask you this. Is RLUSD for retail or is that for institutions? What's going to be for retail? Is USDC going to be for retail? Or is USDC going to be on the institutional side? Or is RLUSD going to be for retail? Or is RLUSD going to be for the institutional side? Lenny, you said I had been playing around with the First Ledger. Okay, shout out to you. Gabrielle, you said institutions. That's my reason of asking that. I'm saying like you're not going to see on the back end for those institutional transactions, you're not going to see those transactions flowing, but you're still going to benefit if you hold the digital asset. You're still going to benefit from price appreciation. I'm just letting you know. But on the back end, you're not seeing those RLUSD transactions. I'm definitely sure they're already doing transactions with the RLUSD. Echelon, you said, I read somewhere once that ISO compliance officially starts. Tether going to be disbanded. Most likely. And then somebody's going to absorb that. Somebody's going to take that market from, especially the Western markets, the United States, the EU, etc. Tether ain't going to be able to operate in those regions. Gabrielle, you said RLUSD institutions, USDC equals retail. My speculation. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm going to play the video in a minute. David Schwartz himself said the CBDC, they're not going to do CBDCs. David Schwartz said that. I'm going to play it in a minute. But he said the CBDC thing they're doing away with it. They don't want to do the CBDC because nobody wants a centralized authority controlling money. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much, if you want to see people rebel, try to control their money and see what happens. So I'm sure people at the top, they understood like, okay, that ain't the smart thing to do where we can have a programmable currency and we can control people's money. But you better believe, don't get it twisted now. They still got the capability of controlling currencies with these stable coins. Y'all better believe that. Now, they're going to have laws saying you can't do it. Okay? Now, you know people break the law all the time. So does that mean they won't do it? I'm not sure. But that's why we going to Congress right now. And hopefully we get laws regulating CBDCs. We don't want no CBDCs. We just want stable coins to increase the financial system. But you never know. 50 years, 100 years from now, they might be having a centralized banking currency. Let me see right quick. It's an illusion. I don't think Tether is going anywhere. We going to see. Gabrielle, you said that makes sense. why Circle went public. If they don't want a central body controlling retail's money, for sure. If, Lenny, you say if, for sure. Let me see right quick. Okay. So let me continue, man. Let's continue. I ain't trying to bore y'all to death. Hopefully I'm entertaining y'all. We right now are watching Apex, a video from Apex. They just recently had this, and we're going to continue. Right now they're talking about lending protocols. And my point was, learn the ledger, man. If y'all are investing in this stuff, start learning how to utilize your money directly on chain, okay? Hopefully y'all remember. Y'all remember when side chains first became a thing? A trust line, that's what I mean. And everybody was jumping into the trust lines. I remember I was creating trust lines, and then I haven't created a trust line in a few years. But you got that experience learning how to create trust lines. Creating trust lines open up doors to different pathways on the network. So I'm just learning myself.
Core pillar of institutional DeFi on the XRPL, the native lending protocol, which is purpose-built for compliant on-chain credit origination. If we want to support institutional activity on XRPL, we need to support a full stack of financial primitives. The XRP ledger, as we discussed, already handles payments and trading at scale. But without a native credit capability, we're missing a core function of finance. And the lending protocol will fill this gap. It brings programmable, compliant credit origination directly onto the XRPL. So there's two core components of the native lending protocol. The first is single asset vaults, which aggregates assets and liquidity into a pool and distributes a share token to the liquidity providers. There's also the option for various compliance features, including freeze, clawback, and permission domains. On the other side is the lending protocol that plugs into the liquidity aggregated in a vault and allows for the origination of a fixed-term, interest-accruing loan to a borrower. There's also features built in for risk management, including borrower underwriting, as well as collateral held by a third-party custodian, for example. There's also a built-in first loss capital protection scheme as well for risk management. So why does this matter? Institutions now have a compliant framework for credit origination, and this allows for secure, efficient, programmable lending, all on a public chain. Use cases range from decentralized access to credit against crypto assets, fintech lending, for example, where you can have better back office efficiency, faster access to capital. This is a major step forward towards real-world credit markets on the XRPL.
Programmability, of course, very important to me. XRP Ledger was built for simplicity, performance, and reliability, especially for finance. We have core features, tokens, escrows, DEX, AMM. They're efficient and secure. But developers want more flexibility. And that's why Ripple and the community are collaborating on native programmability to bring more customization to core protocol features. At first, that's going to probably be through extensions, things that let you enhance existing XRP Ledger features like escrows or AMMs. Think of it as making the native tools smarter without rebuilding them. Powered by a WASM-based virtual machine that is lightweight, efficient, and permissionless, it will keep the XRP Ledger's reliability and speed while enabling custom logic. Over the longer term, we're exploring full smart contract capability on the XRP Ledger with the community. The goal is to support both smart features for common needs and smart contracts for advanced use cases. The first smart feature that we're proposing is Smart Escrow. Many of you are probably familiar with the XRP Ledger's native escrow feature, used for time-based release of funds or conditional payments. But for more complex scenarios, we're introducing Smart Escrow, programmable escrows that can use WASM-based custom logic. This doesn't replace escrow. It's an extension of the existing feature with custom conditions. This can be used for things like notary escrow, where a third party commands the release of the escrow, credential-based escrow, the recipient has to have a credential or NFT, cascading escrows for multi-step transactions in fields like real estate, trustless swaps, option-style escrow, where the release is based on external data from a price oracle. This will expand on-chain programmability without compromising simplicity, keeping the performance and efficiency intact while unlocking new and richer business logic. Smart Escrow is just the beginning. Any XRP Ledger feature could become smart through this extensions framework. We're looking for community input on what to prioritize next and what new use cases this extension model can target. We want this to be an open and collaborative process with developers can start experimenting now.
Alongside native programmability, the EVM sidechain is the other avenue for adding programmability to the XRPL ecosystem. XRPL's EVM sidechain is on track to go live this quarter. Testing is underway with infrastructure partners to ensure it's secure, scalable, and production ready. Once live, full EVM compatibility will be available within the XRPL ecosystem. So why does this matter? Now, developers will have the ability to deploy Solidity-based smart contracts and their existing apps without having to rewrite their code. This unlocks XRP liquidity and now yield opportunities as well. And it also brings Ethereum-based tooling like MetaMask, Hardhat, and Remix all into the XRPL ecosystem. We're excited to announce a handful of early application partners confirmed for launch. Vertex, which will offer perps DEX, Strobe, which will offer a money market protocol, Squid for cross-chain bridging and swaps, and Secured for leveraged AMM and margin. What's neat about all these applications is they'll be accessible directly from your XRPL mainnet wallet without having to manually bridge because they're built cross-chain.
The XRP ledger offers robust native features with more coming soon, built directly into the protocol layer with fewer dependencies and a cleaner architecture. Docs are live, tools are improving, the ecosystem is open. It's a great time to contribute. Developers are essential to reshaping what's coming next.
If you're exploring payments, credit, or digital assets, the XRPL is ready. Infrastructure is compliant, scalable, and production grade. And most importantly, you'll be building alongside a global open source community. This is how we shape the future of finance together. Thank you.
Y'all heard it from this lady. She said the XRP ledger is ready for institutions, ready to scale. They throwing it out there. It's ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So if you holding this digital asset, and I agree with you, Lenny. And what's up, Big Dre? Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. I definitely agree with you, Lenny. People don't know what's about to happen, bro. Like, it's just crazy. It's been a long journey. Some of us ain't never been through some of this, and this long of a wait in investing in so long and seeing it play out. But hey, like I said earlier, we can see the finish line right there. It's been a long marathon, and the finish line is right there in front of us, and we can see it. And all we got to do is keep pushing through. I appreciate everybody just joining, man. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all joining. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Sign up to the Patreon if y'all want to learn how to trade, okay? Learn some technical analysis. Speaking of that, and I got another video I'm going to pull up. I'm going to go to the charts first, and then we're going to come back to this. Let me pull it up right quick so I don't forget. Okay, right there. When I come back, we're going to watch that one right there. But in the meantime, I want to come over here to let's come look at some charts. Pull it up right quick. All right. I'm going to do a quick overview of different markets and whatnot. If you just joining my channel, if you're not familiar with me, I am an analyst. I'm a technical analyst. This is what I primarily do. This is what my channel is built on right here. This is what I specialize in. So yes, we can have some fun. We do some entertainment. We cover other things from time to time, but this is what I mainly do right here. Okay, this is my expertise. You might see some stuff that ain't random. Y'all already know how I say it. If it ain't, do y'all think it's random? No, it's not. If you just joining, the markets are algorithmic. They repeat over and over again, and they can be predicted and timed. Okay, for the people in the Patreon, y'all witnessed that this week. I just went live with my Signal server this week, and y'all already been mind blown of what y'all been seeing because y'all haven't been introduced to that. It's to the point where people don't even want to. They're not even concerned with crypto anymore. They told me that as well. They're not even concerned. They're concerned about it, but they're occupied. They want to trade and get this money right now. So I got different strategies for different people. Whether you're a long-term investor, whether you're a swing trader, whether you are a day trader, whether you're a scalper, whether you like the high frequency trade, I got different models for different people. So if you're interested, click the link in the pin to the comment section. It'll take you to the Patreon if y'all can go ahead and get signed up. So this is Bitcoin on the 3-month time frame. Let's go out to the 6 month. If you don't know, the 6 month, the 3 month The monthly, the weekly, and the daily time frames, those are all long-term time frames. Okay, that's when you get in a long-term perspective. That's when you get in a long-term analysis. So anything below the daily time frame, that's when you start to go into intraday price action. You're no longer looking at the market from a long-term view or a long-term investor's perspective. Now you're looking at it, once you go below the daily, you're going to be looking at it from a quick right now, day trading, short-term trading perspective. So we're taking you from a top down. I'm not going to go below the daily right now, but we're looking at a macro view for Bitcoin. So this is a 6-month time frame. We just ended the first half of 2025. Now we're in the second half of 2025. We just entered it July 1st. So if you look at the current candle, which is already out the gate moving higher for Bitcoin, okay? The current candle, we have, if you look over to the right of the chart, we have 5 months left. We have 5 months left to complete this this candle. So we got to the end of December for this candle to close. So I'm going to ask y'all in the chat. It's very simple. If we just zoom out and look at order flow, what program are we in? For y'all that in the chat, what program are we currently in for Bitcoin? I'm going to go through Bitcoin and XRP, and then we're going to look at some other ones. So let's go ahead and knock Bitcoin out since it's leading the way as far as price. Let me read the comments. Shout out to you, Daryl. We definitely in the buy program. It's called a market maker buy program / expansion profile. The markets do the same things over and over. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, reversal. That's all the market does. Consolidation. Write it down if you don't know. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, reversal. For y'all that been here, y'all heard this 1,000 times. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, reversal. Right now, the market is expanding, going higher. Consolidation looks like this down here. Sideways trading. Retracements is this right here. So you can see the expansion higher. And then you see these down close candles, these black candles going down. That's a retracement. Okay. That's all the market does. And then it expands higher, just like that. So Bitcoin is just out of here. Home run. You know what I'm saying? We never seen nothing like this in the history of anything. Matter of fact, Bitcoin might be the greatest performing asset of all time. Y'all tell me another asset that's greater than Bitcoin. And guess what? I don't hold any Bitcoin at all. I don't have any Bitcoin. But you got to give props to where props are due, okay? You got to give props to where props are due. Bitcoin is in an expansion profile, okay? So anything below on the 6-month time frame, anything on the lower time frames is bullishness, okay? So for our directional bias for this on the 6-month time frame, what side of the market? This simple question. And if you don't know, price always seeks liquidity. What is liquidity? Liquidity is where the pending orders are in the market left behind by institutions and market makers, okay? They leave behind liquidity above the market and below the market, and you retail investors, y'all have no idea what's going on because y'all don't know the method behind the markets. Okay, you don't know. I'm not coming at y'all. If y'all want to learn, click the link in the description for the Patreon. So I'm gonna ask y'all in the chat, what side of the market do y'all see price reaching for? It's clear as day. It's obvious as hell. Is it gonna want to reach for previous highs or previous lows? Does it want to reach for the last half of the year high, or does it want to come down to this low down here? Y'all tell me in the chat. Gabrielle, y'all said it, you say higher, so you want to see it coming higher. Let's go down to the 3-month time frame. I just wanted to let y'all know we got 5 months until we complete that candle. There's a lot can go on in 5 months. In 5 months, let me go back after the 6 months. In 5 months, I believe Bitcoin can be all the way in price discovery. Okay, like let me do this right quick. Let me take a Fibonacci. I'm going to put it on this swing low right here. This Fibonacci up to the swing high. And I'm going to show y'all some projections using the Fibonacci. I'm taking the Fibonacci from this swing low. Boom, right there. And I'm going to place it on this swing high right there. And then I got projections above the market. Okay? Projections above the market. So each one of these projections is considered a standard deviation. Okay? Do you think it's random at the 0.5 standard deviation? We go up to that level and reject it just like that. Because I like to use this when we're in price discovery. Do you think that's random? We come up to this price level, reject it. So as we look out into up into time, because we don't have no data, we don't have no historical data to work with. Okay, so now we got to use projections. My next target for Bitcoin in the next 5 months, I want to see at minimum it come up to this 122,000 level. It's clear as day, isn't it obvious? Okay, we take out this high right here and continue to push higher. My next projection level is 122,000, just like that. I want to see us get up to there. If we get really crazy, $149,000. Do we do all that in the next 6 months? It's hard to tell right now. I'm gonna say at minimum, I want to see Bitcoin at minimum go to 122,000. Okay, it's all depending on what they're talking about with regulations, bills, etc. If that all get passed, it's clear as day what crypto is about to do. Okay, but at minimum, I'm projecting 122,000 for Bitcoin. Does that sound reasonable? Gabrielle, you said boss, or yeah, that's crazy that you called out this 122K range, as that's what we are hearing in the NES. What are you talking about? Oh, in the news. Okay, I got you in the news. I haven't heard that in the news, Gabrielle, because I ain't been watching no news. But if you heard that, that's interesting, okay? But I'm using technicals. I'm using pure price action to show you where price can go, okay? Because the markets are algorithmic, if you don't know. This shit is coded. Just like the XRP ledger is coded, price is coded, okay? These things are controlled. So 122K. Let's go out, let's say, I don't want to go out that far. I don't even want to go out that far. My next target, which would be 122,000 for Bitcoin. Once we get there, we will wait and see. Okay. So let me hide that right quick. Next, I want to go down to the 3 month. I'm not going to do a full analysis on Bitcoin. I just want to see on the 3 month, as you can see, the last quarter, which was Q2 2025. This is a 3 month time frame. Every one of these candles take 3 months to complete. We just began the new quarter, which is the third quarter of 2025, and Bitcoin is already reaching within the first 3 days of the quarter. Bitcoin is already reaching for its previous all-time high, okay, which is 112,000. Right now it's at 109,000. We just came off a high of 110, so we're not far. It's going to do it probably sometime this month, okay? Sometime this month, Bitcoin is going to break its all-time high. Most likely, maybe next week, okay? So let's just look back. Again, buy program. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin, which I don't understand, I don't know nobody personally who's looking to buy one whole Bitcoin. This is reserved for the institutions. So we not buying Bitcoin, okay? We not buying Bitcoin, but I still watch it because you can trade Bitcoin in the futures market. You can trade Bitcoin in the futures market. We're going to click the link in the description below or in the comment section. We go over that in the Patreon, in the Discord. But last quarter, price dropped down into this fair value gap in the form of a BTC. Buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. Do you see how clean that is? Okay. And a lot of y'all are surprised in the Patreon how I'm able to call the markets. And y'all are witnessing it real time on lower time frames. But this is standard right here. We dropped down to this BTC. Smart money accumulated in here and then it quickly left just like that, okay? Do you see how that acted as a support level? Do you see how price traded down into that and sprung price higher? That's not random at all. That's coded. That's algorithmic. And then I can walk you back on many occasions and instances where a price did the same exact thing. Look at this right here. Y'all see that BTC? Buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. It's not random. It's algorithmic. This shit repeats over and over again, just like that. So do you think that's random? We form the fair value gap. This candle drops down into it. Smart money accumulates at a discount at around 49,000. And that was back in this time last year. So this time last year, institutions, big money, accumulated Bitcoin around 50 to 49,000, and now they're still holding their positions, and Bitcoin is up to 109,000. Okay, that's not random at all. That's not random at all. So I'm gonna leave it there for Bitcoin. Let me go take a peek at the monthly. We just entered the quarter, so from July, August, September, that's the next 3 months until the quarter ends. So we just entered the first month of the quarter, okay? The first month of the quarter, and it's already reaching for its all-time high, just like that. Just like that. Let me peek out the weekly. If we look on the weekly, I got weekly fair value gaps. You see that? You see the purple highlighted fair value gap? Do you think it's random? And I highlighted this real time. You just got to go back through my live streams. You see me highlight this level right here. It's still on my charts. Anything you see me doing live is going to be saved, and we're going to refer back to it every time. But I highlighted this fair value gap for Bitcoin. Do you think it's random? Price poked up there. It created that all new time high, and then it retraced down inside of this BISI, a weekly BISI, just like that. Poke his head inside of it. Smart money accumulate, or traders accumulating. Okay, and then boom, expansion higher, just like that. And then boom, we're right here close to all-time high, just like that. So this shit ain't random. Lenny, you said maybe this week? Maybe so. What's up, Hector? Hi, boss. Finally, I'm now at the Patreon for the micro signal. Get him. I'm telling you, get in there. For y'all that's in the Patreon, let Hector know. And as soon as you get in there, don't hesitate. Do not hesitate to get in there and sign up. Like I got videos, I got tutorials in there that you can follow to hurry up and speed the process up. If you decide to do the signals sometime this evening, if you spend your money, get in there and watch the videos. You need to go ahead and sign up for a broker. You need to go ahead and sign up with your trading view, etc. I'm also thinking about getting a affiliate I'm thinking about getting on the affiliate program with TradingView as well, because that's something that I enjoy. There's nothing better than TradingView. So if I get an affiliate membership with TradingView, I will give it to y'all, because y'all get a discount on signing up and getting those subscriptions with TradingView. So I'm be on the lookout for that. I might do that tonight sometime. Sign up with a affiliate, and then I can give y'all the subscriptions with a discount. So be on the lookout for that. Let me see where that's Bitcoin. Now let's look at XRP. Shout out to XRP. Shout out to XRP. It's what y'all been waiting for. So we need to, let's zoom out, go all the way out. On the 6-month time frame, again, if you just joining, 6-month time frame is a long-term chart. Every one of these candles takes 6 months to complete. So that's a very long time. You know what I'm saying? 2 of these candles completes 1 year. So let's look what is going on right now. Like, we kind of moving higher. We're kind of teasing. Okay. Y'all remember I highlighted this right here, this fair value gap right here on the 6-month time frame. It is definitely valid. It's in play. Let me highlight it. Okay. And I gave y'all scenarios. You cannot ignore this BISI. You cannot ignore this fair value gap, because price didn't offer any inefficiency in here. So normally when algorithms, the algorithm likes to refer back down to these levels. I just showed you in Bitcoin, for example, how many times in Bitcoin that price trades down to its fair value gaps. So let me go back out to the 3-month right there on the 3-month. See how many times Bitcoin refers back down to these fair value gaps? So what I'm saying is, do not ignore them. Now, I'm just using Bitcoin as an example. We got an instance where we form a fair value gap right here. You see that? Let me highlight it. And I'm gonna come back to XRP. I'm just giving y'all scenarios, because different things can play out, and I expect all things. I expect all things to play out, okay? So, for example, we got a fair value gap that formed on Bitcoin. We got a fair value gap that formed on Bitcoin, and the algorithm didn't refer back down to it. Okay? It didn't need to. It didn't want to. So, okay, the next candle forms, and it forms another fair value gap. And then price traded down to this one and not this one. That's normal. This is called a breakaway gap. I don't think I told y'all that one before. Whenever you see a fair value gap that forms and price doesn't trade back down to it, that is very bullish, okay? It's considered a breakaway gap. We didn't have to refer back down to this. Price just broke away without referring down to that. That's a good sign. If you're super bullish, that's what you want to see, okay? So now let's look back at XRP. Now, you don't want to ignore the 6-month fair value gap. You get it? Don't ignore it because the likelihood of price coming back down to this is high, okay? And if it does decide to come back down to it, you can see a price level of $1.61, $1.39, $1.17. Don't ignore it. The other scenario would be breakaway gap. Do we want to open up and just break away and go higher? That's a possibility, okay? Night Owl, you said you've been wondering about that. There you go. You're learning something every time. I'm telling you, it's so much. This stuff that I know, this skill set that I know it's so much. It's gonna take you several years to grasp it all, and it's so much shit I don't talk about. Okay, because I just keep it to my own. You know, it's just so much. It can be overwhelming explaining this stuff to people. And I'm still new at trying to teach people and explain this stuff to them. So I'm still, I'm fairly new with this. But there you go. That's another one that I never talked about. If we break away and price doesn't trade down into this gap, that's considered a breakaway gap, okay? But I'm always going to be on the side of wanting to retrace down into this, okay? But if it doesn't, well, guess what? I'm already positioned back in here. I'm already positioned, for example. And a lot of y'all are, you know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all are. For example, there goes the fair value gap right there. We was accumulating during here and down in these levels. Here goes another one right here. We was accumulating down in these levels. Okay, so we're positioned for a price to just do a breakaway. I don't care if it comes down to this level. Me personally, I prefer not to. I'd rather it just continue to go higher. And even if it did try to trade back down to this fair value gap, I'm not going to be buying. It's hard for me right now to want to purchase XRP at $1.61. It's hard for me right now to purchase it at $1.39. I don't want to purchase at them prices because I was spoiled. I was getting the 5-for-1 XRP. I was getting the 4-for-1, the 3-for-1, the 2-for-1. Okay? Mainly 4-for-1s. I don't know about purchasing XRP at $1.61. I could take my capital right now and go find other markets to either invest in or actually trade. I don't want to purchase a $1.61 XRP because I'm well positioned way back in these days right here. So a lot of y'all are too. So I'm not tripping if price comes down here. Okay. Now, you also don't want to ignore the wicks in price. You also don't want to ignore the wicks in price. So let me highlight that. Y'all should already know what they are. Whenever you see large wicks in price, these candles, you do not ignore the wicks. I tell y'all that all the time. Do not ignore wicks because there are hidden price levels inside of all these wicks. This wick high and this wick low. There are hidden price levels. So I'm going to draw Fibonacci from the closing price up to the high of that wick. Okay? Boom, just like that. And the key level is the midway point. That's the 50% level. That divides, that's the midway point of the ghost pool. The wicks are called ghost pools. Okay? 1 second. 1 second. All right, my bad. The wicks are ghost pools, and these are key levels above the market that we can trade up into. Let me show you past examples of what the ghost pool has done. So look at this wick right here. This formed back in January 2018. Let me highlight that ghost pool. I'm going to take a candle from this candle's open up to the high. I'm going to drag it all the way out to the right. 1 second. Let me redo that. Okay, boom. As you can see, we're just currently trading inside of these hidden levels inside of this ghost pool, okay? We can easily reject these levels. We have done it before. But we can also break through them as well. We can use these as targets. If price decides to move higher, we got price ranges that we can measure in price, and we can see price go up to these levels, okay? So we can reject it and come back down to the discount. And if you don't know as well, the market only does 4 things: consolidation, expansion, retracement, reversal. And all it does is go from a premium to a discount, discount to a premium. Okay? So we want to be buyers when price goes down to a discount. We don't want to be buying markets when they're up at a premium. And we want to be sellers because I'm a trader. If y'all don't know, I'm a trader first. I don't just look at one side of the market. I'm thinking like smart money. I'm thinking like the institutions. Y'all are retail to me is slaughter. Y'all are sheep. Okay? I'm not disrespecting nobody. I'm just saying how I think. That's the mindset I have in these markets because I'm looking to buy and sell. And until you understand that, you don't understand the markets. So smart money is in there buying and selling in both directions, okay? They're buying and selling in both directions, making money both ways, okay? If y'all are just joining, please hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Got 34 people in the building. Subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate it. If you're brand new, click the link pinned to the comment section. Sign up to the Patreon as well. But let's see. And this week was an odd week. If we look at the economic calendar, this was a odd week because the chart, the weekly candle for the market is still saying June, even though we're in July. So this week, the beginning of the month fell on a Tuesday. But the markets don't reflect that because in the markets, it's still July. The next week will be the first week of, the markets are still in June. Next week, the first week of July is the first week of trading, okay? So next week and going forward, we should see if institutions want to push price higher or do they want to start rejecting it and coming down to a discount. Regardless, for me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which side they want to push it because we can anticipate on what side of the market they want to come down to. Do they want to bring it back down to a discount? Okay, cool. Well, I already got levels where they could potentially draw it to. Do they want to trade higher? Cool. Well, I got potential levels above the market that they can push price up to. So it doesn't concern me right now. You know what I'm saying? We can call the market wherever they want to send it. We right there with it. Okay, we right there with it. We understanding what they're doing. We're riding their coattails. Okay, so that's the 6-month time frame for XRP. Let's go down to the 3-month. We just began the new quarter, July 1st. We began the quarter July 1st. Night Owl. Okay, I read your comment already. So we just began the quarter. We got 2 months left to complete this candle. So we got a lot can happen. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand what the higher time frame is doing. What I just showed you, the 6-month, we are inside of these ghost pools. And then below the market, we got this 6-month fair value gap. Also, don't ignore the 3-month fair value gap. I still got that highlighted as well. But I'm using the 6-month because the higher time frame has more influence over the lower time frame. So the 6-month has more influence over price than the 3-month, and so on and so forth. You use that as a sequence. So if you're on a daily time frame, you better know the weekly has more influence over the direction and price. ZZ, you say, do multiple ghost pools back to back signal anything? It just gives you more confluence. Like these two, do you see these two fair value gaps right here? They are blended together. So in the gray is a 6-month fair value gap. And then in the orange, that's a 3-month fair value gap. But they are blended together, okay? So if watch this. I'm on the 3-month time frame. I'm going to remove the 6-month. It just gives you more confluence. So on the 3-month time frame, you can see how price trade down into the fair value gap, okay, and rejected it. But look at the low right here. You see that wick low? You see that the very low of that wick. Now watch when I pull up the 6-month. See that? See that 6-month in the gray? Do you think that's random? Huh? Do you think that's random? See how the higher time frame trades down to that and rejects the top of that fair value gap? And then boom, goes higher? No, that's not random. So all it does is give you further confluences and it gives you more detail. The ghost pools work the same way, okay? So if I go back out to the 6-month time frame, The ghost pools work the same exact way. So back on the 6-month time frame, if I highlight, damn, I deleted it. I got to redraw it. So for example, I'm going to highlight this premium ghost pool right here. I'm going to take a Fibonacci from the close of that candle up to the high. Okay. And then I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to take a Fibonacci and measure this ghost pool from the open up to the high. And I'm going to draw it out to the right, just like that. So what that does is give you further confluence. So ZZ, check it out. You see, if I'm gonna hide that right quick. I'm gonna hide this one right here. I'm gonna hold that right there. So let's look at the current candle right here on the 6-month time frame. Do you see the high of that wick right there? Okay, you see that high? Now watch when I draw that ghost pool over here all the way out to the right. Boom, right there. So now let's zoom in. Now you tell me if that's random or not. You tell me if that's random or not. That we trade up into that and reject it. Just like that. If you don't know the bullish candles, they open up at the base. They go low. They create a low. And then they go high. And then you can see it reject that level right there. And then come on back down. Yes, Gabrielle. Y'all been seeing it in the Patreon. That's precision. Okay. Now we're not done because guess what? Can we trade through that? Yes. We just know we have an indication where price is going. Okay. They just give us confluence and an indication what price can do. Okay. Let's just say we trade through that level right there. The next stop will be this ghost pool right here. You see that? We could trade up into that. We can reject it or we can use that as a target. Okay. A 252. So if this is a breakaway gap down here and we start moving higher, I can call the market and say, hey, we're going to go to 252. If we're going to get any more bullish, we're going to go to 264. If we continue going higher, we're going to go to 281. That's just hypothetical. Okay. But that's just precision. You do that with all PD arrays. You blend them together for more confluences and you have an understanding what the higher time frame is doing as well. You got to know what the higher time frame is doing. You say, do you value ghost pool levels as target points only, or you view them as resistance? Both. We use them as both. You got to understand what the higher time frame is doing. Okay, you got to understand what the higher time frame is doing. All the PD arrays that I show you, you can use them for entries and you can use them as targets. Okay, you can use. So, for example, if price starts to show weakness to run a roll over and come down, I'm going to want to get in sync. And this goes for any market, by the way. I'm going to, if I see weakness in this candle right here and it starts to roll over, okay, I know how to go down to lower time frames and short the market down to these levels. And one of the first targets I will reach for will be the top of the 3-month fair value gap right here. Boom, just like that. If we get any more bearishness, the next level, I'm using this as I'm grading price ranges. And then, okay, let's just say it comes down to this level right here and it rejects it and goes higher because guess what? You want to be a buyer at discount. On lower time frames, I got protocols. What are the protocols? Displacement. So let's say price trades down. Let me show you. Let's say it trades down to discount. And then it reverses because you want to be a buyer on discount and then it goes higher just like that. Well, on lower time frames, I know how to zoom in all the way down to a 1-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame, and watch to see if price is going to want to reverse. That's what y'all been seeing me do in the Patreon. I'm going to want to see price want to reverse on lower time frames. The lower time frames is going to give me an indication on what price wants to do. And if we reverse, along the way, I will find an entry point and continue higher, just like that. But if you're just zoomed out on a long-term perspective and you're just zoomed out as a long-term investor, you don't have to do all that. You just use the higher time frame. If you're just a long-term investor, all you need is the monthly, weekly, and daily time frame. You don't need nothing else. Okay? Okay. So hopefully I answered some questions. If y'all just joining, man, smash that like button. If you're a new subscriber, I appreciate it. Definitely share the link, share the video. Definitely appreciate y'all time. Let me see right quick. So again, I'm not going to do a too deep dive analysis. We're going to move forward. Let me go down to let me see, 3-month time frame, which I just did. 3-month time frame. Let's go down to a monthly. And as you can see, price still in the consolidation on the monthly. On the monthly time frame, I'm gonna ask y'all this. On the monthly time frame, this month, do y'all see price coming up and taking out last month's high, or coming down and take out last month's low? What do y'all say in the chat? Do y'all see price coming up and taking out last month's high, or coming down and taking out last month's low? And then if we come up and take out last month's high, what's stopping price from coming up and taking out the high from May? Y'all tell me in the chat. Scott, you say both? Definitely possible, Scott. I'm gonna hold you to it, Scott. Gabrielle said last month's high because it's closer. Okay, for sure. So right now, it's a difficult read. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a difficult read. And guess what? As an analyst, we have those problems. You know, we run into that. And when we run into those issues, we just wait until smart money give us an indication on what they want to do. So this is a monthly time frame. I'm gonna highlight this BTC right here, but you can't ignore. I'm gonna remove the 3-month. Boom. Right now, we know there's a large fair value gap on the 6-month time frame that you cannot ignore. It's like a black hole. Do not ignore it. Okay. Possibility of going down there is very high. You don't want to ignore that. Also, right here, this is a monthly fair value gap. Let me highlight that. Boom, just like that. Okay, that's a monthly fair value gap. We recently been consolidating and trading down at this level right here. So the reason, indication on why we can break away would be this monthly fair value gap right here. You see that? You see how we trade down into it? We consolidate inside of it. We using it as support. Smart money definitely accumulating. When this candle right here back in April sold off, it traded down into what? A 3-month fair value gap, just like that. Okay. We're using it as support. Smart money accumulating. And I'm going to go ahead and say this month, I want to at minimum come up and take out last month's high. Okay. At minimum, take out the last month's high, which was 233. Okay. Let's come up and take out 233 right there. That's my bias, short term. Now you can't ignore this as well. So what makes it a difficult read is so many PD arrays. If you don't know, PD array stands for premium discount array. These are price levels either at a premium or a discount. Okay, you can't ignore this wick. Remember I said don't ignore the wicks. Well, look at that wick right there, and then look at this wick right here. You better not be ignoring it. You want to use a Fibonacci. You want to measure the wick. This is called a ghost pool. Boom, just like that, okay? So what's making this a difficult read is we keep ranging on both sides of the market. We keep bouncing from premium. We keep bouncing from discount. So the market is consolidating. That's what y'all see. Also, look at this wick right here. You want to highlight that as well. If you want more confluence, you want to highlight that as well. Okay? So we're just ranging in between these levels. So I'm going to remove this one right here, but I'm definitely paying attention to it. Also, you got to understand what the higher time frame levels are doing as well. So don't ignore those 6-month or 3-month time frames because those have more influence over price. So right now, what are we waiting on? You want some type of institutional sponsorship. What does that mean? What does institutional sponsorship mean? When price is difficult and it's just trading sideways, there's really nothing you can do until institutions show their hand. How do they show their hand? They inject liquidity into the market. And you're going to notice this if you watch charts like me, if you watch price. Sponsorship looks like this right here, where price is just consolidating for months and years. And then boom, displacement higher. You start seeing large candles, large volume pushing through the market randomly. You're going to see it on lower time frames. You're going to see it on the daily. You're going to see it on the weekly. Okay. Once they start sponsoring the market, they're injecting liquidity, pushing the market around. If you don't know, retail can't drive the market. We cannot push the market around. Only smart money, only institutions can push the market around. So what sponsorship looks like is this. Displacement higher, just like that. Okay. And then they drop the market back down and it consolidates sideways. But now it looks like we're starting to get some momentum. Look at the flow of price. After retracing down, offering a discount, you're supposed to be a buyer at discount. Now it's starting to push higher. Slowly but surely. Okay? We just entered the month of July. We got 28 days left. So I'm going to remove this right here. Just know I'm paying attention to it. It's a lot going on because we're consolidating. Let's go down to the weekly. We got a long month ahead of us. We got a long July. We probably got a long third quarter as well. If the third quarter is as long as the second quarter, y'all prepare yourself. But I think we're gonna have more excitement this quarter than we did the second quarter. Okay, so on the weekly, you can see consolidation. If you don't know, every one of these candles take 7 days in the crypto market. If you're in the Patreon and you're signed up to the signal service, that's only a 5-day market. So in the crypto market, it's 7 days a week, 24/7. It does not sleep. That's the beauty of it. So right now, so far this week, we have 3 days left to complete this candle. And so far, we took out last week's high. Above that high is buy side liquidity. And we're just short of taking out these highs as well. So any type of little sponsorship, any type of catalyst can push price higher. And if we start going higher, we got this old high right here. And then we got these old highs up here. And then eventually, shoot, that is 339. That's the all-time high right there. Okay. So we're not really far from the all-time high. We really can blow through that. Yes, the Jason months. Shout out to you, Excalibur. The Jason months. If you don't know, we are in the Jason months. July, August, September, October, November. That's the months of chaos. You know what I'm saying? That's the month. Those are the months of distractions. So if you don't know, like the elites, they like to get shit done during those months. And as you can see, regulations, that's part of it. Also, watch out for Black Swan events and all kind of other shit. We just had just 2 weeks ago, it was World War III. We thought we was coming to it. You know what I'm saying? We thought we was about to go there. But you notice that whole narrative has died down. So that's crazy to me. So that whole narrative has died down. So we got 3 days left. Let's go down intraday right quick. Let's go down to the hourly. So anything below the daily time frame is intraday price action. So let me pull up the weekly dividers. Okay. And as you can see so far, this vertical trend line right here, this starts at 12 o'clock midnight Sunday, New York Eastern Standard Time. That starts the new week of trading. Okay. So what have we done so far this week? It's been a volatile week, as you can see. We open up the week on Sunday. And then on Monday, what do I mean by sponsorship? Sponsorship goes on all time frames. Okay. Do you think it's random? That price, we open up at 12 o'clock midnight on Sunday, we go up, we take out this high right here. Okay. That high right there was the Asia session high last Saturday. I'm gonna highlight that. That's buy side liquidity. Okay. Above that high right there are pending orders to sell the market back down to discount. Okay. So we open up on Sunday, we trade higher, we liquidate that high. We also liquidate these highs over here. See that high over there? So you can extend that out to this left, and then price breaks down. As it breaks down, it takes out all these lows. You see all these lows stacking up? All below those lows are sell side liquidity. Okay, I'm gonna highlight that. Below the market is sell side liquidity, above the market is buy side liquidity. So we take out buy side, trigger sell orders, sell down to discount, take out sell side, trigger buy orders. Okay, that's the float. That's the secret sauce that y'all want to know. The institutions leave behind orders. Their sell orders are above the market. Their buy orders are below the market. Okay. Okay. So we drop down, liquidate these lows. Below this low right here, buy orders. Also, look over to the right. Y'all tell me in the chat, what is this right here on the right? What is this right here on the right? What is this right here on the right? Y'all tell me in the chat for y'all that are always showing up. I definitely appreciate it. And this is where you get the value every time. This is where you get the real value. So for people that send in super chats and whatnot, I appreciate it. And hopefully this is your return for me showing you this skill set that you can apply. And once you have this skill set, nobody can take this shit from you. It's with you forever. There y'all go. BISI. A BISI is a fair value gap in the form of, a BISI is another form of a BISI is a fair value gap. There's different types of fair value gap. A BISI is considered a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So why did price drop down into this fair value gap right here? Because it was lacking sell side delivery. So what the algorithm wanted to do is it wanted to go up, trigger those orders above the high, and then trade down, take out some lows where pending orders was, and then offer this fair value gap some efficiency. Does it have to fill it all the way in? No. All it has to do is drop to the top of the fair value gap, and that's what you see. Do you think that's random? I don't think that's fucking random, okay? It's not random at all. Excuse my language. But we drop down. Smart money has orders inside of here. This is what I mean by smart money buy orders. Drop down, they trigger limit orders, okay? And then boom, price displacement higher. See that? And that's the sponsorship. This is the sponsorship that I'm talking about. Somewhere on lower time frames, you're going to see rapid candles moving fast. That's sponsorship. So on the higher time frame, that's what we're waiting on. We need sponsorship on the higher time frame. Okay? We need sponsorship. So as I drop down the lower time frames right here, this is a 5-minute time frame. You can see us trade down to the top of that fair value gap. They offer buying 2 times, 1, 2. And then the sponsorship is this right here. When you start seeing, and when you're watching price live, it's obvious to you. Even though we're back testing, this is how you learn. But when you're watching price live, you're going to see how fast this moves. And that's them entering the market. Once you start seeing rapid movement and they're showing their hand on what direction they want to go, just like that. That's sponsorship. That's a quick, rapid expansion higher. They're sponsoring the market. They're injecting liquidity into the market. And boom, off to the races, higher. Okay? Now, for you long-term investors, that's what you want to see on the higher time frames. That's what you want to see on the higher time frames. So I drop back out to the hourly time frame. So this expansion higher, what did it do? We took out last week's high. See that? Took out the highs from last week. So I'm going to take this trend line right here. That's a key level. At the end of every week, you want to identify the high and the low of the week. That's a key level. We punch through that and we trade up higher. Let me see right quick. Let me zoom in. Let me get a little closer. Let me see if I see any inefficiency in here. I don't see any inefficiency. So it pretty much rejected. Maybe if I go out to the higher time frame, I need to go out to the zoom out. Let me zoom out to a 4-hour. Let me go out to the daily. One second. Let me go out to the weekly. I'm looking for why did it reject. That's what I'm looking for. Why the hell did it reject? That's because this week was a manipulated week. This was a manipulated week. That's why I rejected, because that's just the manipulation in the market this week, because we had so much going on. So it went up, rejected, and rolled over. But when it rolled over, it didn't just go to any random level, y'all. It didn't go to any random level. It went right back down to this 1 hour fair value gap. Do you think that's random, huh? Do you think it's random how it goes back down to this 1 hour fair value gap? Smart money accumulates again, and then boom. Sponsorship again, going higher. And then right now, it is currently Thursday, 7 o'clock p.m. And we're currently trading right here. Well, we rejected this fair value gap. Not rejected, but we supported it. Offered it another buying opportunity for traders. And then displacement higher. And right now, price is just being volatile. It's just chopping around. So I need a closer look at price. Let me throw up my daily dividers. Damn it. I got to drag these out. I got to set them. Let me drag them all the way out to the right. But I definitely appreciate y'all joining, man. If y'all are new to my channel, please subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. We just kicking it this afternoon, going over some markets, going over price, giving a kind of deep analysis. I'm not going to go any deeper for XRP right now. I'm going to leave it for, I might go live Saturday maybe. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We shall see. And we'll dive a little deeper at intraday price action. I seen a large channel holder today, or a large crypto XRP guy, influencer. He was saying on lower time frames, that shit is just noise. And I'm like, okay. Some people just call this noise on lower time frames. That's because you have no idea what's going on in the markets. You have no idea. So right now in the week, let me see. Let's go out to the weekly. We got 3 days left. 3 days left. There's a possibility that XRP by the end of the week can come up and take out 233, 234. So right down to that 1 hour. Definitely possible that XRP goes up and take out this high right here above the market. Above that high is liquidity. If you don't know, price always seeks liquidity. It's constantly reaching and seeking liquidity in inefficiencies in the market. That's all it does. And we starting to form, after today closes, we're going to have this high right here from Monday. And then we're going to have this high right here from Thursday. You want to note those highs because they're leaving behind orders in the market. So I'm going to note that high right there. That's buy side liquidity from Monday. And then we're going to note buy side liquidity from Thursday right here. Okay. So possibility of us, they're pretty much stacking orders. So they're giving you they're leaving clues on what they want to do. You're starting to see orders stack above the market. They're leaving behind clues. So sometime this week, I'm going to anticipate XRP to come higher. Okay. I'm going to leave it. Matter of fact, let's go down to the 15 minute. Let's go down to the 15 minute. It is currently 7:50 here. In 10 minutes. We will begin the Asia session. So in 15 minutes, the Asia session will begin. I'm going to note this low right here. This low right here was from the AM session this morning. So we definitely can reach down there and take it out. That's what it looks like it wants to do. Sell side liquidity right there below the market. Asia session low. AM session low. We recently just traded up into this SIBI. Sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. What I'm doing right now is right now price action. This ain't no long-term outlook. This is right now. We're getting in sync with price. So for y'all that are in the Patreon, this is what I do all day. You know what I'm saying? We get in sync with the market and we flow with it. So right now, order flow is bearish. Order flow is bearish right now. And I want to see price pretty much come down, reach for liquidity. But we're going to pay attention to that. Let me highlight the Asia session, 8 o'clock p.m., 12 o'clock midnight. 8 o'clock p.m., 12 o'clock midnight. New York Eastern Standard Time. Highlight that. Y'all 1 second. I got to take this phone call. All right, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. So yeah, we're in the Asia session. Well, here in about 8 minutes, the Asia session will begin, and we'll monitor XRP to watch some live price action if y'all are into that. Let me highlight this right quick. Let me see. Also, let me matter of fact, we can switch gears in a minute. I'm gonna switch gears. We're gonna talk about what we did today in the what we've been doing in the Discord. Definitely appreciate y'all joining. So let me see right quick. Let me pull up. Let me say that right quick. Let me pull up the NASDAQ September contract. The stock market, the NASDAQ, pretty much just broke its all-time high. Let me hide some of this right quick. So today the NASDAQ broke its all-time high, and I pretty much, if you was in the Discord or in the Patreon, you heard me call that out like Monday. On Monday I said, yeah, the NASDAQ is going to break its all-time high, and we've been in there trading that as well. We've been in there taking opportunities, trading that volatility. So this is the NASDAQ futures contract. Let me come to my channel. Come to my channel. And let me see. Let's come to my video. So I don't know if y'all watch these videos, but I consistently post what I do. You know what I'm saying? I always post it. I even got people that doubt it, you know what I'm saying, whatnot, but it is what it is. But let's look at what I did today. Like yesterday during the lunch hour, I entered a trade for the NASDAQ, and I pretty much held that trade overnight. People in the Patreon, people in the Discord, seen it happen, see me call it out real time. And early this morning, took profit on that with precision, okay? So this is what I did early this morning. I went to sleep overnight, and people in the Signal service are witnessing this real time. If you want to sign up, the link is pinned to the description. I advise y'all, if y'all want to take these opportunities, sign up to the Patreon. Sign up to the Patreon. We are consistently, and it's also a teaching. It's almost like mentorship. So if you kind of want to get mentored on how to trade, sign up to the Patreon. Because I'm in there hands-on with y'all, walking you through the trades. It's not like I'm just giving y'all signals. No, I'm actually in there teaching y'all as well. Okay? So this trade pretty much lasted from lunch to 8:30 a.m. this morning. And it was a 144-point trade, 6 contracts, $1,700. I do this all day, so I got doubters that don't think this is real, but people are witnessing it real time. So if you want this level of precision, y'all sign up to the Patreon. But I want to review this trade on the charts right quick. I want to go back, walk through, and review this trade. And this is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all learn this skill set, y'all can do this all day. I go into more details in the Patreon. I'm right there with y'all hands on. If you got any questions, y'all can be directly with me every day. You know what I'm saying? We do this every day. How many people in the chat are interested in this? Y'all tell me if y'all are interested in learning how to trade, like outside of just investing long term. How many people are interested in trading? That's what I'm trying to, because I'm a trader. That's what I originated in. I come from the trading community. Okay, not the crypto space. I come from trading community. So how many in here are interested in learning how to trade? I'm just curious. And being able to do this consistently. Scott, shout out to you. Scott, I know you interested. Definitely know you interested. You show up every time. I know the ones that are interested for sure. But this was an overnight trade. I pretty much walked everybody through it, etc. People are new to this. People are hesitant. People are, it's exciting. The excitement level is very high. So I definitely, I think it's a fun experience. For y'all that I was recording this on my tablet, by the way, anyway. And then boom, just like that, take profit. Just like that. Take profit, order executed. And that's it. Held that overnight. So let's come over to the micro contract. And what I want to do is go down to a 15-minute time frame. Okay, 15-minute time frame. And what I want to do is make sure I'm logged in right quick. 1 second. Okay, we back. All right, logged in to my account. So what I want to do is I want to focus on precision. Then I go down to the 5 minute, go down to the 5 minute time frame. So I'm gonna show you the execution. So let's go to my settings. And I'm gonna go right here on TradingView to executions, right there. And when I pull up executions, it shows you exactly where you entered and exited the market, okay? Entered and exit the market. So this is a one-shot trade. As you can see, this arrow shows you the candle that I entered on right here. So every time I'll be like, hey, fair value gap, etc. You highlight it. You could trade at the top of the fair value gap. You could trade at the midway point of the fair value gap. I tell you that all the time, right? This happened yesterday on Wednesday during the AM session. So let me take these vertical trend lines right quick. Take them vertical trend lines. Take a vertical trend line. And from 11 a.m., which starts my bad. From 8:30, this was in the AM session. 8:30 a.m., New York Eastern Standard Time. 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. That is the New York AM session. Okay, New York AM session. 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's that window in time where you could be a trader in New York. Also, I traded this as well. If y'all in the Patreon, I recorded that as well. And somebody told me I was lucky, but ain't no luck over here. We traded that down, and then guess what? We waited. I should have got in earlier, but I waited. And then my execution during the AM session, boom, right here. Okay, so I pretty much held that from the AM session, the end of the AM session yesterday. And then from the AM session, which is from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., that's the lunch hour. 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., that's the lunch hour. Okay, so I entered that trade. And I held it all through yesterday during the lunch hour. And then by the time the lunch hour ended and we went into the PM session, which is from 1:30 p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Once I seen the PM session was just consolidating, I made the decision to just hold the trade. What I did was I took my stop loss and I rolled it above my entry point. So if price decided to fall over, it tagged me out. I don't take any losses. I actually gain profit. Okay. I don't take no losses. So we consolidated overnight and then we entered the new day right here at 12 o'clock midnight. See that white line? That's 12 o'clock midnight right there. Okay. 12 o'clock midnight. So I held a trade overnight and it pretty much went higher. We crossed over into the new day, which was today, Thursday. Went all through the London session early in the morning. And then we crossed over into New York. Whole time I'm holding this trade. As soon as 8:30 a.m. for the New York AM session today started, this candle right here, 8:30 a.m., boom, you can see it just explode higher. And then boom, you see that? Take profit. Just like that. You see where my take profit is on that arrow? That's the trade I just showed y'all. That's the trade I just showed y'all on my channel. So I'm actually showing you real results. I'm showing you where I entered the trade yesterday during the AM session, and I held it overnight for a target for the all-time high. The take profit level is the all-time high. Now tell me if that's not precision. And then as soon as price tags the all-time high, what does price do? It rolls over. It sells off. That's not random. And as it sells off, do you think it's random that it trades down to this level right here? Now, by this time, I'm done for the week. I'm out the market for the week. There's no point in me, because tomorrow is a bank holiday. There's no point in me jumping back in the market, okay? There's no point at all for me to jump back in the market. I take profit, and then price rolls over, trades down to this. What is this in the chat? Y'all tell me what is that right there in the chat. Y'all let me know what that is in the chat. This highlighted area that I just highlighted. Shout out to you, Gabrielle. Bissy. Buy side and balance, sell side inefficiency. Shout out to you, Scott. Buy side and balance, sell side inefficiency. So it's not random that price goes directly to this high. And if you're not in the Patreon, you're not getting this insight. Let me go to this comment right quick, then I'm gonna come back to that. Was on this trade? No, not this trade. Let me go to this one. This was the trade I did earlier that morning. Earlier that morning for $852, okay? There's a comment right here. Shout out to Catch Up. But this guy right here says, that was hella lucky, bro. He says, that was hella lucky, bro. Ain't no disrespect to him because he don't know. I'm not expecting him to know. But you better believe ain't no luck in what I'm doing. I'm showing and proving. I'm telling y'all, if you in the Patreon, you witnessing it. There is no luck in what I'm doing. I'm not taking this personal. I actually like this because he simply does not know. Most people that are watching don't know what's going on in the market and how to read and predict price, okay? So I take that as a sign that, yeah, I'm making an impact out here. People are skeptical. Hopefully I can turn them into a believer because what do I say all the time? This shit ain't random. It's not random at all. But if we come back over here to the NASDAQ, after taking profit, I'm done for the week. Done by Wednesday. I think I did about $5,000 this week. Done by Wednesday. So in 3 days, $5,000. And because of the economic calendar, because let's go look at the economic calendar, because we use the economic calendar as our guide. I know on Wednesday, I don't want to trade Thursday. Understand that? So anytime we have a non-farm employment week, I'm done by Wednesday. But I was already in a position and I held it overnight, and I normally don't trade Thursday and Friday of a non-farm employment week. But I held my position overnight on Thursday, not wanting to enter another trade because of all this right here. I don't want to be in this. And most people try to chase price today. They got wrecked. They probably got fucked up trying to chase price. But I know I don't want to trade Thursday and Friday, but I held my position overnight on Wednesday. And as soon as 8:30 hit, my take profit was hit. And I'm no longer interested in getting into the market ahead of the 4th of July. So I'm already telling y'all I'm done by Wednesday. So that's the take profit right there. After it takes profit, price trades down to this 1 hour fair value gap / in volume imbalance. Also, new day opening gap. I don't think I taught y'all that one. Y'all want to know what the new day opening gap is? Every day in the futures market, every day. Okay, every day in the futures market, the market closes at 4:55 p.m. and then it reopens at 6 o'clock p.m. What you want to do is note the close of the day and the reopen at 6 o'clock p.m. So it's like an hour close. The market closes down every day for an hour. But you want to do is you want to note the close and the open, the closing price and the open. And then I drag that all the way into the following day. Okay. Drag that all the way out to the following day. You can see how price trades along it several times. After taking out or before taking out all-time high, you can see price trade down into the new day opening gap. And then boom, displaces higher. Takes out all-time high. Then it retraces down into the fair value gap. And expansion creates another fair value gap right here. See that? That fair value gap forms during the lunch hour on a of today. During the lunch hour, fair value gap in the lunch hour, at the beginning of the lunch hour, price trades down into it, uses it as support, and then boom, just like that. Just like that. I'm not interested. Somebody asked me in the Patreon, why, imagine holding that. I'm not interested in holding that. I'll let them have it. Okay? I let them have it because there's always opportunity in the market. Just let them have it. Okay? Just like that. So we do this all day, every day. We do this all day, every day. And if you're interested, I just got started with this. It's only the beginning. So if you're interested, go to the Patreon. The link is pinned to the comment section and in the description of my channel. So y'all sign up if y'all are interested in those type of moves. We are doing consistent trade setups. Let me look at this one as well. This is one I did prior to that one. Okay. This is a trade that I yesterday pre-market. So I was in the market at 7 a.m. just analyzing, and I quickly determined that, okay, y'all in the chat, this sell-off, look at my cursor. Price going down like this. What profile is that? What is that right there? This sell-off. Y'all tell me in the chat, what is that? It's an expansion. You're right, not a retracement, but it's an expansion. This sell-off like this on this time frame, this is a 5-minute time frame. This sell-off is a market maker sell model. That's a sell model. It's a high resistance one though. So yesterday, in this whole entire week, look at this price action. Very choppy, but it's still tradable. You can trade in it, but you got to have experience. You got to know what you're doing. But you can see the candles and the wicks. The entire week has been like that, okay? This is a market maker buy model going up, and then price reverses and creates a market maker sell model going down. So with understanding that and understanding there's liquidity below the market, this is the trade. You can see price trading up inside of a fair value gap. Look at my stop loss. Look how close my stop loss is. Look at the purple fair value gap. Do you think I'm nervous about moving? Well, I was kind of nervous, but I got experience. I know how to hold on to it. But look I'm in the red. This is a live trade. I did this. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say. My trade is in the red. So price is going against me. You're going to have some drawdown. It's okay. You just got to know what you're doing. I'm confident enough that price is going to sell off eventually. I'm confident enough that price is going to want to go down to my direction. You see below the price, there's sell side liquidity. Sell side liquidity. I believe that was the previous day's low. So y'all in the Patreon, y'all see me call that out. I said I want to see price go down to previous day's low. And that's exactly what I was reaching for. You just got to give it time and price is going to roll over. And I sped the video up because if I just post these videos, y'all not going to watch them. So why not just speed them up? This actually could be a short, but I sped it up. Same concepts I'm showing y'all every day is what I'm doing on the day-to-day in the market. And this was a low-hanging fruit trade. So it's like it wasn't holding for too long. I believe this trade lasted about 45 minutes at that. Like, yeah, it was about 45 minutes that this trade happened. So less than an hour, this trade panned out. Within less than an hour. A lot of back and forth, a lot of choppiness. That's the high resistance nature of the current market conditions on this particular day. And eventually I drop down lower. I'm more confident that price is going to trade down lower. And a lot of y'all would be nervous. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll be like, man, I need to get out. You're looking at money. You're looking at the profit. I'm not looking at the profit. I'm using tech. I'm using algorithmic trading. I'm more focused on the candles and how they are performing more than the money. Okay. I want to see how the algorithm is behaving. It's high resistance. So I'm willing to hold on to this and boom, just like that, market executed. So if y'all are interested in that, click the link, sign up. If y'all want to do that on the day-to-day, we're in there locked in. Take another look at XRP. Let's go out to a 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we got this SIBI right here. It's a SIBI. And let's see if XRP wants to roll over. Let's see if XRP wants to start to roll over. We are in the Asia session. Before I get up out of here, I want to watch one more video from David Schwartz. Watch one more video from David Schwartz. All right, this one was more a one-on-one with David Schwartz. Let's check it out. It's more like a Q&A type of video, and he gave some interesting insights with his projection with XRP Ledger and XRP and whatnot. And this is more techie for y'all tech people, software engineers, and people into IT and all that. This is you're probably gonna nerd out on this one, but let's check it out.
On stage, we've seen so many cool, interesting talks from people ranging from banks to university professors to DeFi builders, and I'm excited to learn more about all those topics they were discussing. And off stage, there have been so many great conversations coming out of the synergies of so many people passionate about the XRPL all in one place. And I'm sure those connections will last beyond today. David, I'm curious to hear what stood out to you the most.
Well, I mean, this is the 5th year of Apex. It was massive. It was amazing. In the very beginning, the idea was to bring developers together and to talk about strategy for the development of the XRP ledger, hear what developers wanted. And then it gradually expanded over the years to include retail speculators and tech enthusiasts. And then, coming closer to this year, researchers, students. And this year, institutions are finally on board, and that feels like an exciting turning point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the big thing about this one was bringing like DeFi developers, people who are building software for mass adoption, grassroots, together with people who are looking to bring institutional tools to the XRP ledger to provide the next generation of DeFi, and that was just super exciting.
So we started with asking the community for a lot of questions, but I snuck in one of my own just to get started first. A topic near and dear to my heart. There's a lot of interest right now around programmability on the XRPL with smart escrows on the native front and the EVM sidechain as well. From your perspective, what's the real unlock here? What kind of use cases do you hope we'll start seeing built?
The XRP ledger was purpose-built to solve specific financial use cases with the DEX, issued assets, escrows, forthcoming loans. I think we'll be able to address the major financial use cases through native transactors that implement the functionality that people need, like loans will be able to be done that way. But I think that you can only target something like the most valuable, most important sort of 80% of those use cases, which is great. You could be very successful just targeting the most interesting 80%. But I'm hoping that with smart transactors, we can sort of expand to get to use cases that we can almost hit, that we just need a little bit more flexibility to hit. I think also there's some very specific use cases that can probably only be done through a little bit of a smart contract. So one example would be trustless bridging or trust minimized bridging. All of the great bridging solutions and interoperability solutions that we're seeing require just a little bit more flexibility than we can get from from smart transactors that don't have programmability. So I'm hoping that with just a little bit of programmability, we can just get a lot of bang for the buck. And I don't want to turn the XRP ledger into another, Turing-complete Ethereum clone. But I also don't want us to be cut out from functionality that we could have. And so I think we can get a lot of interesting additional use cases that have real-world value and still preserve things like, fast transactions, low and predictable transaction fees, and the security and reliability of not doing everything through a smart contract.
I couldn't agree more.
We'll see.
We also asked the community on X to share their questions they had for David. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to all of them because you just had way too many really great questions, but we picked a few of our favorites. No topics were off limits. So let's get this started.
Can I pass on a couple of them? I don't know. Am I allowed to do that?
Well, it's an ask me anything, not I will answer anything.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
So our first question here is from Issa. What milestones are you hoping XRP achieves in the next 5 years?
Well, 5 years is a long time. I think we can get a lot done in 5 years. I think the big thing that we can probably accomplish in 5 years is just making the ecosystem feel like an ecosystem. People being able to, millions of people who have access to blockchain tools and who are potential customers for new DeFi solutions. 5 years is a long time. We could have mass enterprise adoption. We could.
Did you just hear that? 5 years is a long time. We can have mass enterprise adoption. He telling you right there, y'all. That's why I'm saying, like, all of this is over with. We just waiting on the regulations. The regulations is the final stepping stone. We can have mass adoption within 5 years. And I think he kind of lowballing it. He pretty much know it's set in stone. Let's continue.
could have users who live their entire economic lives right on a blockchain.
He said we can have users living their entire life on the blockchain. Economic life. As y'all know, we just recently seen that they're trying to make it in the United States where we can purchase real estate directly with cryptocurrency, or it could be considered an asset to purchase real estate. So you already know that's going to be tokenized. How many of y'all in the chat plan on living your life on the blockchain? Don't be scared. I don't need the conspiracy people coming here. But how many of y'all in the chat plan on like living a portion of your financial life on the blockchain? I mean, you're invested in the assets, so why not participate on the net? Scott, you said 100%. See, most people will be scared of this. You know what I'm saying? Most people will be scared of this, but the people that's going to win are the people that's going to adopt it. Okay? The people that's going to win are the people that's going to adopt it. So if you plan on, you know, if you hold these assets, learn how to navigate on chain. Okay? I agree with you, Gabrielle, just for the digital economy. Just for the digital economy. Let me continue.
Looking at XRP specifically, I think we're going to have a long tail of assets with things like tokenized lending pools and tokenized real estate portfolios and fractional ownership. There's going to be an enormous number of assets, and people are going to need liquidity between them. So I think XRP could be that intermediary asset. We can accomplish a lot in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great to see. Our next question here is from Rose. If you could only eat one Singaporean dish for the rest of your life, what would it be?
You know, there's a lot of great Singaporean dishes, but I got to give it up for chili crab. And it's just an incredible. You would not think, you know, crab is sweet and kind of a delicate kind of protein. You wouldn't think that you.
All right, I'm gonna get through that part. I don't want to hear about eating crab. I want the details. I want the good stuff. So let me skip through that.
Pay me. The XRP ledger allows. It can take those loans. You can settle them.
Same concept.
Not a Singaporean specialty, though.
I guess
sorry.
not. I think the Singaporeans, hopefully they're not offended by my suggestion.
It sounds like they might have been.
Yeah. I apologize. It's my first time here. I'm still learning.
Lenny, you said David Schwartz needs to cut back on the meals. Man, David Schwartz be eating good. I know he do. He's an older gentleman, as you can tell. Who remembers the guy on what's the Training Day? No, not Training Day. Independence Day. How ironic. Tomorrow's Independence Day. Let me see if I can pull him up right quick. Because this motherfucker reminds me of that dude on Independence Day. Independence Day. Man, that movie came out in 1996, y'all. I remember that movie first came out, bro. They would wear that movie out. They would wear that movie out, completely out. Let me see if I can find that character from Independence Day. Daryl, you said it's a riddle. Chili crab must mean something. Oh my God. Oh my God. David Schwartz reminds me of this guy right here from Independence Day. Let me pull it up right quick. This guy right here. He was in Independence Day. He was a scientist or whatever the hell he was. And that's who David Schwartz remind me of. And I think he plays on that with the hairstyle. You know what I'm saying? I think he kind of like buys into that. That had to been one of his favorite movies as well. Let me see. Right here. This guy right here. That's David Schwartz in the movie. Right there. Independence Day. See him right there? That's David Schwartz. So that's who he reminds me of. Okay. Now let me come back over here. And y'all tell me if y'all don't see it. Y'all tell me if y'all don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should have watched Independence Day. Y'all definitely should have watched Independence Day. But that's him. He embodies that character. He embodies that character. And this man is a billionaire, y'all. He's a billion. Y'all know that he's potentially he's gonna be a trillionaire. David Schwartz is a billionaire out here, and he don't give a damn. He could at least braid it up or something. You know what I'm saying? He just let it fly, let it hang. He's also a genius as well. But I guess when you hit a certain amount of money, you don't give a fuck. Excuse my French. But you don't give a damn once you hit a certain level in money. Okay? His passion ain't money, trust me. His passion in life ain't money. He likes to eat though. Like, I'm sure a lot of his money goes to food, like Lenny said. Night Owl, you said Area 51 scientist? Yeah, that's what David Schwartz is. He's an Area 51 scientist in blockchain and networking. Gabrielle, he also looks like the guy from Back to the Future, Flux. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, Scott, he need to braid that up, man. He need to braid it up, switch it up. He need to find some black girl that know how to braid, and she gonna hook him up real good. You know what I'm saying? She gonna hook him up real good. Definitely need to find a chick that know how to braid. And I can see him rocking the locks, you know what I'm saying? With the bald head right there. He can definitely be rocking the locks. But this man is a genius and he don't give a damn. Let me continue.
Oh, you got a couple supporters.
Sounds like some of you are on my side. All right, our next question here is from Caspian. What's one overlooked feature of the XRP ledger today that you think will look obvious in hindsight 5 years from now?
You know, I really hope it's the social credit feature.
All right, boom. Y'all pay attention. So this girl, this young lady interviewing, she asked him, what's one feature? And remember I was telling y'all earlier, the XRP ledger has so many features that we don't even hear about. There was a rumor, and I think it's kind of true, that the XRP ledger got over like 15 to 20 different use cases on the XRP ledger, but we only focus on like a handful. So he's about to talk about one that y'all might not be familiar with and you don't hear nobody talk about. And she asked him, what's one feature on the ledger do you want to see improving? So let's check it out.
What's one overlooked feature of the XRP ledger today that you think will look obvious in hindsight 5 years from now?
You know, I really hope it's the social credit feature. I love this feature so much. It gets a lot of hate. It hasn't gotten a lot of traction. There's a lot of misunderstanding. Let me explain how cool this is. This came from Ryan Fugger, the original Ripple Pay project back in 2004. And Ryan had this idea that is the most cypherpunk idea out there. He had this idea that instead of money being something that the government created, money could be created by interactions among people. So if I do you a favor and you owe me one, that could be an asset that I could hold. And if somebody needs a favor from you, they would want to get that asset from me. And so they might give me something in exchange for that asset. And the XRP ledger has this feature fully implemented through trust lines. So I can say, I'm willing to extend a certain amount of credit to you. Think of it as like a loan. If you needed money, one of the horrible ways to get it is like a credit card advance or a personal loan. But you probably have friends who'd be willing to loan you money if you didn't have to go through the awkward mechanics of it. Like you have to ask me to borrow money, and what if I say no, and what if you forget to repay me? The XRP ledger allows you to extend credit to people. They can take those loans on demand, and you can settle them on demand.
Y'all hear this? Social credit feature on the XRP ledger. Now, all we hear about is cross-border payments, stable coins, etc. The main ones that we always hear about. But this is one that he advocates for. He really want to see develop. And if y'all hold these tokens, I'm assuming, and he said you can activate these by trust lines. That's what I was saying earlier. Y'all need to get familiar with the ledger and how to operate on chain. But creating a trust line gives you the ability to do this. So I'm assuming us that hold this token can do this as well. I'm assuming, as long as they don't regulate us from doing that. But how can they if y'all hold the assets? So y'all can definitely be issuing out loans and credits to other individuals if you hold these assets. We talking about a new asset class, you know what I'm saying? We talking about new type of money, things we haven't been able to do ever before. Now, if you don't have XRP and you're locked out the system, God damn it, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have any XRP, you're not inside of it, you might need them loans, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? Y'all that hold the asset, you're going to be able to issue those loans out to people, which is very interesting. Very interesting. There's so many features on the ledger, man. I think some shit is hidden. Y'all remember the rumor a few years ago that Ripple was working with the Army? They was working with the military to do something, but then they kind of swept that under the rug. They got that up out of here. So who knows what all Ripple and XRP can do?
And it's got this incredible system built into it that virtually nobody is using, and I really would love for it to get traction. I personally think it's incredibly cool. It's a great alternative to government-issued fiat, and I don't know. I seem to be in the minority on this one. Nobody seems to agree with me, but I personally just really like it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why issued tokens are sometimes called IOUs, right?
Yeah. We got any IOU fans here? Any people who like that idea of a sort of social credit system where you borrow from your network of friends? Oh, we got a couple. Okay. All right. I know it's associated with this negative idea that like people who are socially disfavored will sort of be economically exiled, but at least it'd be transparent, right?
Did y'all just hear this? He just kept it real, you know what I'm saying? He said, well, the people, he did not deny that people that are not in this, they're not going to thrive in this shit. I'm going to play that back right quick. He pretty much just said it flat out like, he said that makes a lot of sense, already has an escrow system. The people that are economically disenfranchised, they're going to be fucked. They're going to be fucked. Night Owl, you said my guess would be has something to do with the SIPRNet transfer of service data. I'm not familiar with that. I'm sure y'all are. But yeah, man, he pretty much flat out and came out and said like, yeah, man, like the economically, socially disfranchised people, yeah, y'all gonna be fucked, but at least this shit's gonna be transparent. I'm gonna play it again.
I really would love for it to get traction. I personally think it's incredibly cool. It's a great alternative to government-issued fiat, and I don't know. I seem to be in the minority on this one. Nobody seems to agree with me, but I personally just really like it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why issued tokens are sometimes called IOUs, right?
Yeah. We got any IOU fans here? Any people who like that idea of a sort of social credit system where you borrow from your network of friends? Oh, we got a couple. Okay. All right. I know it's associated with this negative idea that like people who are socially disfavored will sort of be economically exiled, but at least it'd be transparent, right?
Hopefully y'all catching that. I always say Ripple ain't y'all friends. If y'all think Ripple is y'all friends and they on the side of y'all, they got a whole nother agenda that y'all can't even see. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the inner workings, it kind of be slipping out. Yeah, Daryl, China. Black Mirror episode. Shout out to you, Naquan. But I'm telling y'all, look, David Short comes off as this big teddy bear genius, weird white guy, weird person. And he's not, you know what I'm saying? He's definitely not. I feel like, because he's a designer, he knows what the ultimate goal in the agenda of Ripple, he knows what the elites think. And he's on side of that narrative. What's up, Marvin? Marvin Davis, shout out to you, man. Evil genius. Yeah, man. Yeah. Evil genius. Appreciate y'all just joining, man. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. This is going to be one y'all want to go back and watch. We've been going for a little minute now. I'm going to continue with this video.
Better than it happening in secret.
All right, our next question here is from Vet. Is there any protocol incentive model that you find would work with the current XRPL philosophies? In other words, do you still think that the best incentive is no incentive is current?
You know, I still think the best incentive is no incentive for block production specifically. I still think that's right. But you know, I think there are protocol incentive models that could work with the current XRP philosophy. I don't like them. I'm generally against them. But people obviously don't have to agree with me just because it's me. Like, I'll give you an example. Imagine if programmability does very well on the XRP ledger and it gets a lot of traction. And we start to get these transactions that are very complex because they do a whole bunch of stuff. So you could imagine that the fee for those transactions would have to be a lot larger than the fees for current transactions. And we don't really have any currently established norm for how those transaction fees would go. So if we change the rules for transaction fees on normal transactions, let's say we give them all to me. Matt, so any supporters of that rule? No, but like that would be really weird. That would upset some really settled expectations. But we don't have settled expectations for these additional fees that smart contracts might pay. So you can imagine a community agreement that maybe that should go to the validators. Like that could happen, and that would fit in with the way the XRP ledger is. Again, I personally don't think that's a good idea, but you know, maybe there's some version of it that might be persuasive and that people might like. And so I do think that best incentive is no incentive for block production is still current, but there are definitely ways that you could imagine doing it differently that you know maybe people would like.
Yeah, I mean, one risk with that is definitely that you know, if you are only giving fees out for the programmable transactions, maybe validators will start to prioritize those transactions over normal transactions.
And that gets to the reason why I'm generally not in favor of those things. Like, the thing that I imagine is, like, imagine if you and I are both validators, and you're like a great validator, and I'm a terrible validator. But I really like the fees I'm getting. So I kind of don't want you to be a validator, because however many fees there are, there's only so many, and we're sharing them. And so it creates sort of artificial conflict and you know, inside the ecosystem. And it can cause a race to the bottom, like you see with mining, and even to some extent staking. So yeah, my preference is generally not to do those things. I generally think we should look to other areas for incentives. But you know, you don't have to agree with me.
Put everybody else on the negative UNL so you get all the fees.
Well, I would point, well, one important thing about the UNL is that it only affects validation. It does not affect consensus. It doesn't affect your way to, well, whether or not it affect if we ever did fee splitting, of course, would be open. But I would lean towards having the negative UNL not affect fee splitting for just that reason. And so, like, for now, if I put you on the negative UNL, that does not affect your ability to participate in the consensus process. So you still participate in consensus fully. It just affects the validation process. In other words, we don't wait for you if you're not responding. But if you are responding, we still, it's one of the cool things about negative UNL is it isn't really as much a threat to decentralization. But then again, if you're not validating, can we let you have a share of fees? Probably not. And so now it gets complicated.
Yeah, it does. So our next question is from Crippen Ryder. Are there any plans on adding concentrated liquidity provisioning like Uniswap v3 to the native XRP LAMM, or is this something that we'd really only ever see on the EVM sidechain?
You know, there has been some discussion about this inside the team. You know, I spoke with Anshul about this. When we designed the AMM feature, we had in mind volatility harvesting and XRP as as one of the assets as the primary use case, and it's very built for that. The trade-off is it doesn't provide liquidity as efficiently. If you imagined an AMM between RLUSD and like USDC or Bitstamp USD, there better not be much volatility to harvest, right? Like, if the rate of exchange between two USD stablecoins is fluctuating a lot, they're terrible stablecoins. And so we don't want to optimize for volatility harvesting. So we have talked about having a knob or some sort of tuning that would allow you to switch it to be more towards liquidity providing and less towards volatility.
So it sounds like they're still trying to figure out the AMM feature. I'm not sure. I remember that was a big thing like a year or two ago. I forget when. They went live with that on the ledger. But it sounds like they're still trying to tweak it out. I guess only time would tell. So that's interesting to know. That's interesting to know.
Harvesting. But in the short term, yeah, you can easily do that on an EVM sidechain. I think it's one of the benefits of smart contracts is that you can tune to any niche or weird use case, and it's a lot harder for us to do that in our world.
Yeah, during a workshop I ran on Tuesday, we had some conversations about smart AMMs, which could be one way you implement that knob.
Yeah, it's actually a great example. Like, this is a pretty significant problem of capital inefficiency in providing liquidity, and you might think you need some big, complicated solution to it, but really, it's just changing of there's a curve inside the AMM that determines how it changes its price in relationship to how its balance is shifted. It's a very constrained, you have a certain input, I have this much of this asset, and this much of this asset, like, what should my price be? It's very constrained, and so you could implement it with a smart contract that only processes that one piece of information. It's a good example of an extension that could provide much more efficient liquidity provision on the DEX, which is a pretty high payoff for a pretty low investment.
Yeah. All right, our next question here is from Decoded. When you imagine the XRPL ecosystem in 2030, what's something that you hope it does that it doesn't today, whether technical, cultural, economic?
Let's see, 2030, that's what, 15? Well, my brain thinks it's 2015 somehow. Well, that's only 5 years away. Wow, that doesn't seem right.
I know, right?
Anyway, what do I hope that it does that it doesn't do today? Seamless interoperability, I think, is the big one. If users have to think about where things are, they're going to get a terrible experience. The great thing about the internet, when you use the internet, you don't have to think about where you are or where the server is or what technology it's using, what operating system it's running, whether it's connected by fiber, right? The internet just works, right? And so as a result, when you build tools for the internet, everybody can use them. It's the same thing with phones. Like, why are phones such a great platform? Okay, you have to make 2 versions, right? One for Android, one for iPhone. But once you've built those 2 versions, you have tens of millions of people who can access your product or service immediately. There's no barrier. If they don't like it, now they just get rid of your app. If they like it, they continue to use it. I think what I want it to do that it doesn't do today is provide that kind of seamlessness, to provide a target market that people can aim their products and services at, and provide that user experience where you feel like there's a million different things that you can do, and they all just work.
Right.
5 years, it might be a little tough.
Right, it should all just work like magic, and you shouldn't need to know how a network protocol works to use the internet.
That's how every technology gets mass adoption. So in the early days of almost every technology, you had to understand it very deeply in order to use it. And it's very difficult for any technology to get mass adoption that way. In the early days of computers, you had to build it yourself. You had to install the operating system yourself. In the early days of the internet, you had to edit DOS batch files with TCP/IP set. Right? But the way you get early printers were terrible and broke down all the time. The way you get to mass adoption is when you solve a problem and the user doesn't have to think about the how unless they really want to. We are definitely in the enthusiast phase now, where it's very difficult to use blockchain products or services unless you very deeply understand how they work under the hood.
Yeah.
And we'll never get mass adoption that way.
Our next question is from the Natural Cube. Why was the Ethereum network given priority for RLUSD over the XRPL?
Well, I don't think the Ethereum network was given priority. We definitely decided to launch on 2 chains, because obviously if it was going to be one, it would just be the XRP ledger. But it doesn't really feel like it's a premium stablecoin on one chain. And so Ethereum was the obvious choice, because of their traction. I think what we're hoping is that as institutional use cases ramp up on the XRP ledger, RLUSD will emerge as a settlement asset, payment asset. As Hidden Road starts using RLUSD for collateral, we expect to see those things on the XRP ledger. So the choice of the XRP ledger was obvious. The choice of having more than one blockchain was pretty obvious. And the choice for the second blockchain being Ethereum was pretty clear, just because of its size. So, and we're currently trying to weigh adding more blockchains versus going deeper into the existing blockchains. And obviously, going deeper into the XRP ledger is a very, very high priority for us, through things like partnerships and building additional functionality where RLUSD can be useful. Loan portfolios, like when you take loans, one of the ways is you can get paid with RLUSD. When you want to buy into those tokenized portfolios, RLUSD can be a payment asset and a settlement asset. And so we hope to grow that on the XRP ledger going into the future.
Yeah, sounds great to me. Our next question is from Khaled El-Awadi. How significant will permission domains be in enabling regulatory compliance and attracting large institutions into the XRPL ecosystem?
I think it's going to be very significant. A thorn in my side and a thorn in the side of Ripple for a long time has been the fact that we can't use the XRP ledger DEX for our own payment products. I want to rip.
Y'all hear that? Ripple can't use their own DEX for payment products because of, they got to get in line. They got to definitely get in line. I see a lot of people coming in. If you are brand new, hit the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate y'all joining. Share the video. But yeah, man, they can't use their own DEX. They can't use their own decentralized exchange because that's too powerful in my honest opinion. That'll give them too much power. But it's theirs, though. So, I don't know. Let's see what David got to say.
My hair out. So it's obvious that we would do that, and it's endlessly frustrating that we can't. And the primary obstacle is that Ripple is a regulated institution. Right. And if our trade passes through a terrorist or somebody who's sanctioned by the United States, it doesn't matter whether we knew or could have known. Or basically, if there's a chance that can happen, we just can't do it.
Right.
And so we have not been able to use the DEX. And it's just, and so.
Y'all see that? He said they can't use it because they're regulated. They can't use the DEX because they regulated. And you already know Ripple, the banks are in control. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna outdo the banks. They in control. They are in control. Ripple will get permission and granted access on what they can and cannot do. That's the only way they're going to elevate as a company. Night Owl, you said he's greedy. I feel like because really once you operate that DEX, that's all the money, to be honest. That's everything. that's taking over everything. And you could clearly see that frustrates him because he know that's one of the greatest designs on the ledger. That's one of the greatest designs on that ledger. That's the whole purpose of the XRPL. That was what his main purpose was, to become a decentralized exchange. And like he said, if any bad actors decide to use that exchange, then guess what? It ain't gonna work. And there's always that possibility that people can do that. But it is what it is.
So permission domains will enable a domain in which you have to prove you're not a terrorist to get into that domain. And so that will mean that, like, lots of ordinary people, I made the joke at my other presentation, I said, you know, all of us could get into that permission. I'm probably not that guy in the second row. Yeah. That joke killed earlier. But I mean, the idea is that these will not be just institutions to institutions. Why put that on the XRP ledger, right? That should be on a private ledger. But the idea is that ordinary people will be in these permission domains. They'll be able to provide liquidity. They'll be able to consume liquidity. They'll be able to arbitrage between inside and outside the domain. And finally, enterprises that want to use the DEX to settle payments and move assets and provide liquidity on the DEX will be able to do so. So I think it's going to be very significant as part of the sort of wave of institutional adoption. And those higher flows and those higher volumes on the DEX are going to bring value to all of the developers on the ledger.
Yeah, I'm a little biased in being a fan of permission domains because I wrote the spec.
You know, the very first vision for permission domains goes back to 2014.
Oh, really?
We had this idea for something we called regulatory domains. And the idea was that an account could put itself in a sort of a jurisdiction, and that could control things like maybe there's a court that could order some accounts frozen or order, you know, and you can't currently do that with XRP because it has no issue. But you could opt into a regulatory domain that had some authority that could do that, and it could have rules about how assets can move in and out. And there was never really a good product market fit for that because it wasn't solving a real problem that anyone had. With permission domains, it really is a problem that institutions that want to use the DEX can't. That's frustrating. And when you have a technology that solves a problem and the people who have that problem can't use it, it just bothers me.
I guess no idea is really truly original if you thought of the same thing 10 years before I did.
Well, there are some big differences. I think it's more aimed at a very specific problem, and it's more of a decentralized. It's less of a compromise of because it does seamlessly. Because people can be in a domain and still interact with people outside that domain. It's not like they don't take anything away. Whereas the original idea kind of does take things away.
Yeah, that's fair. Our next question is from Mike Richette. So, do you expect widespread adoption of the XRPL to be closer to 1, 3, or maybe 5 years? What does that widespread adoption look like? And is the XRPL infinitely scalable versus, say, 1,500 TPS?
Well, I think we're going to see widespread adoption over all of those time frames. I think over the next year, you're going to see a lot of institutional adoption, bringing a lot of big dollar numbers.
Y'all hear that? He flat out telling you. So that, to be honest, that should, I guess what makes him say he can come out, for him to even say that right there, kind of tells me some of those NDAs are falling off. He has permission to go out there and say that. Did y'all just hear that? You know what I'm saying? Boom. There you go, Scott. Boom. He's telling y'all within the next year, okay, within the next year, and the girl asked her, what do you see, in the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years? And he's telling you within the next year, institutions are about to flood this market. So line it up with what's going on in regulations in Congress right now. This is from the person who created the XRP ledger, okay? The chief technology officer from Ripple. He created it. One of the smartest men on the planet, okay? Yes, Naquan, derivatives market takeover. I'm going to play it back one more time. He pretty much flat out he's telling y'all everything is in the clear. So we are on edge. Y'all just hold on at the seat, strap in, because like I said, the finish line is right there. We can see the finish line. The marathon has been going on for several years, and we got to just push through because the finish line, we can see it. We can see the finish line. So we just need to push through and get to the finish line. And this man right here is confirming to y'all that need confirmation that, I mean, he already knows, because he knows on the back end through Ripple and their business on their day-to-day, he know what kind of partnerships and what kind of things are getting done. He knows this. So he just flat out and told y'all.
Is this a 1500 TPS?
Well, I think we're going to see widespread adoption over all of those timeframes. I think over the next year, you're going to see a lot of institutional adoption, bringing a lot of big dollar numbers, but not necessarily a lot of activity. But I think that's going to enable the sort of widespread adoption over the 3 to 5 year timeframe. I think you're going to see the next wave of DeFi applications that solve real-world problems like payments, like sensible investments, like loans. Yeah, I mean, if you think about what do people use, they have savings accounts, they have checking accounts, they have retirement accounts. I think you're going to see that mass adoption where people get those traditional financial services from blockchains like the XRP ledger over that 3 to 5 year time frame. As far as the TPS goes, you can sort of imagine a couple of different worlds. I think the least likely world is where the XRP ledger sort of stays stuck at the current TPS level, and then really only high-value transactions occur at the layer 1. That's kind of okay, because obviously high-value transactions are where, by definition, that's where most of the money is, but that doesn't really solve the world's problems. I think another version of the world is where it scales to very, very high TPS levels through sharding. So what you can do is, if you have, instead of one ledger, if you have 2 ledgers and you have a transaction that executes here, then here, and then finishes, you have the sort of 2 or 3 phase execution. So you can have thousands of ledgers that together we think of as the XRP ledger. And so yes, we may have to make 3 transactions instead of 1, but we have thousands of ledgers to do it on. You could even have sort of ephemeral ledgers that you use for a short period of time, and then you throw them away. So let's say you wanted to have a ledger that had 10,000 transactions per second. It was somewhat centralized. But if you're going to throw it away after a week, it doesn't really matter. It can't, if it doesn't work, you just don't use it, and it can't steal assets from you because you have to move assets onto it. But I think the more likely world is scaling through things like ZK rollups. I think that's what most people, think is of what's going to happen. So layer 2 through ZK rollups will allow that type of scaling. But we'll see. Everybody's working on it. Everybody understands that we need to scale better, and all of these techniques, are being explored throughout the industry. We don't have that much time, though. I think we have maybe 2 more years before we've got to figure out, but there's a lot of work going on scaling through ZK.
He said they don't have much time left. They got about 2 years to figure out how they're going to scale up the XRP ledger. And didn't Ripple, y'all tell me in the chat, because I think I seen it a few months ago. Didn't Ripple hire like 1 million programmers or something crazy like that worldwide? Y'all tell me in the chat. Didn't Ripple hire so many programmers and coders a few months ago or a few years ago, whatnot? I want to say it was damn near 1 million programmers. And David Schwartz is saying we ain't got that much time left. We got about 2 years left to figure out how we gonna scale the ledger. You said you think it was 1,000? Scott, you said 1.4 easy A? Hey, if y'all are just joining, man, y'all not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if y'all just joining. Smash that like button for me. Share the video, share the live stream, Smash that like button for me if y'all brand new to the channel. Appreciate y'all joining. Y'all definitely getting exclusive content over here, exclusive charting. If you want to sign up, you want to learn how to trade, click the link pinned to the description and in the chat. If y'all want to learn how to trade, that takes you to my Patreon. Okay, I'm gonna shout that out. What's up, Ed? What's up, Big Volunteer? BTC or XRP? What's your pick? XRP all day. XRP all day, but no shade of Bitcoin. If you just joining, I just went over Bitcoin and XRP in the chart, so that might be something you want to go look at. We did kind of a semi-deep analysis, but definitely XRP all day. But I'm not shading Bitcoin. I root for Bitcoin. It don't matter what it is for me, as long as it makes money. So I'm not no tribal person. I'm not a part of no XRP army. I ain't no Bitcoin maxi. No, I'm a getting money ninja. Okay, we're gonna get to this money. Getting money ninja. Okay. What's up, Ed? Naquan, you said Ripple was hiring a lot of during the C word. Yeah, I remember that. Easy A is an app. It's legit. Lenny, you said 1 million employees would make them one of the largest. I don't know if it was 1 million employees, because I don't think they was hiring 1 million employees, because the XRP ledger is open sourced. So they just need like over 1 million people. I could be wrong. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up. Let's not waste time. Let's not waste time. I got Google right here and I got AI. Did Ripple fund? They might not have employed. Maybe they did a round of what they call it, donating to the programmers. Did Ripple fund new development projects? Let's not even play with it. How many developers are working on the XRPL? Now this was on X. Let me pull this up right quick. Now I can't confirm nor deny. Let's pull it up. Oh, okay. See, y'all be knowing, bro. Who was saying Easy A? Shout out to you, Scott. You rung a bell. Let me bring this up right quick. So this is over here on X. It says Bank XRP. That's the page. It says 1+ million or 1 million plus developers are coming to build on the XRP ledger. Now that's not hiring them directly. That is open source for people to come build on. So 1 million developers worldwide can openly come develop on the XRP ledger. It's like a mission, and Ripple is pretty much funding it in their way. XRP ledger mainnet is now live on Easy A. I'm gonna check that out. Our 1+ million developers are coming to build on the XRP ledger. Let me see right quick. Today, and this is an old, I think this is an old post. Let me see. This was back in December. So yes, that's when I heard it. That's around the time when I heard about this. It says, today we're thrilled to announce what we have been working on with Ripple. XRP ledger mainnet is now live on Easy A. Our 1+ million developers are coming to build on the XRP ledger. They have been backed by A16Z, YC, and many more top VCs. And they have one task: build on the XRP ledger. Phase 1 has now officially begun. Just imagine what happens when these founders launch. Let's welcome an Easy A gigabrains to the XRP ledger. It's time to build. So these are developers, an army of 1 million developers, not hired by Ripple. I understand they'll be one of the biggest companies in the world. No, these are just freelancers. An army of freelancers coming to code and design on the ledger. With that many people, I'm sure they're going to build a lot of great things on the ledger. So that's what I was referring to. Hopefully I didn't confuse it. Let me come back over here to get through this, and then I'm going to head up out of here. I'm going to let y'all go in a minute. 1 second. Gabrielle, you said my speculation on why he said we have 2 years is because AI is supposed to start scaling. Oh yeah. You already know quantum computing and shit like that. That's already a threat to blockchain. Exponentially by 2027, XRPL will settle all of that. Yes. Barton K, hey boss, glad to see you. Shout out to you, Barton K. Shout out to you. Scott, building soldiers via Easy A. You was on point, Scott. I appreciate the alley-oop. You know, I'm going to take it like Jordan and slam it, or LeBron, whoever you want to refer to. Gabrielle, it was easy bringing the 1 million devs to XRP Ledger. Yes, that sounds like it was easy. Instead of hiring them. Red Pill Awakening, shout out to you. Boss, you think when adoption occurs, various ISO 222 will go up at the same time, or some? I don't know. I can't tell you. Price is going to do what price does. Okay, I can't tell you if it's going to do it or not. We shall see. Red Pill Awakening. I'm on price every day, so if it decides to align directly with price, then we gonna see if it does decide to go live. That goes live this month as well. But let me finish this, and then we're going to get up out of here, man. Happy 4th of July to y'all. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Click the link in the comment channel, in the comments. Go to the Patreon, sign up. Let's go ahead and finish this. 1 second.
Roll-ups and layer 2s now. And I was kind of down on it just because it seemed like every time we solved one problem, another problem would pop up, and it just felt frustrating. It didn't feel like progress. But in the past couple of months, it feels like we've beaten down the big problems, and the problems that pop up are smaller problems. And so, although it's not a perfect, we don't have perfect solutions yet, we have solutions that are really good and that can be used, and that's enough. You know, that you don't have to have a perfect solution. I know I like a perfect solution, but we have practical solutions that I think we could go live with if we had to, and I think they're just going to get better.
Progress is progress. Our next question is from Wrath of Kahneman.
Great name.
Can you explain how Ripple leverages AI on the XRPL to manage liquidity? Are there any noteworthy effects?
So we really don't yet. I'm not as bullish on AI as most people are. I'm sort of an AI skeptic. I'm big on AI for documentation because I can write technically detailed documentation and I can write introductory documentation, but I can't write documentation for a particular person to meet their needs. AI is really good at finding information and synthesizing it in exactly the right form that you need, and it's surprisingly reliable at that in constrained problem spaces. I'm also excited about AI to do things like regulatory compliance and monitoring. Classifiers, I know LLMs get all the interest, but AI classifiers are really good. I've been experimenting with them for stock predictions, so that's kind of cool. But they're also good for saying basically like this account is known to belong to an exchange, this account is known to belong to an institution, this account is known to be part of a scam. What does this account look like, this account that we don't know? And they're really good at it, and they require much less human intervention. I'm also optimistic on using AI for sort of personal financial management, like, like balance, like if you have a retirement account, this is how much, when I'm going to need my money, this is how much I think I'm going to be able to put in, this is my risk tolerance. It's going to be interesting when we have all of these on-chain assets that people could put their money into, and they might be able to do staking, and they might have access to leverage. A human being trying to think through that and balance their needs against it is going to be almost impossible. So, but on most of the other AI use cases, I'm not bought in yet. I'm still a skeptic. Again, another area where I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to see AI like provide better liquidity. I'd love to see AI. I'd love to see blockchain make AI better somehow. I've heard a lot of pitches, and there's people who think that. I'm skeptical, but again, love to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I'm with you on that.
You're a skeptic too?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
All right, our next question is from Shahryar. With so many new developments happening in crypto, what are 2 to 3 things that you would recommend investors and enthusiasts focus on and learn about in the next year or two?
I think the big thing over the next year or two is going to be meeting like the real financial needs of like normal people, of ordinary, collectibles. Most people don't need collectibles, and like high risk, high reward assets. That maybe people in this room, but like most, that's not really great mass adoption scenario. So what I think is really interesting is low risk, moderate reward investments for normal people. So portions of tokenized real estate portfolios, portions of tokenized loan portfolios, tokenized money market funds, securities of all kinds. This idea that in a couple of years, we'll have a mass market of blockchain-enabled investors who are looking for places to put their money. I think that's a big, in the United States, we're overserved by the financial system, and there's a couple other countries where people just have great access to great investments, but most of the world doesn't. And I think enterprise, we can't find that inside the blockchain space. Like, we can do over-collateralized loans as a sort of tax optimization for people who hold a lot of crypto, but there's not enough of that. And yes, you can speculate on the crypto ecosystem. It's high risk, but like, we're finally at the point where we can provide the sort of investments that ordinary people need. Well, we're about a year out, and so that idea of millions of people who can get their funds, on and off a chain easily, targeting that market with like interesting things for them to do with their money is going to be, the most exciting, I think, the most exciting sort of mass adoption, retail, DeFi use case for developers to be on.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I like the name of Dingo Ate My XRP, by the way. Is that something that we actually have to worry about? I don't know.
You're getting ahead of me, David. It's my job to read the slide.
Oh, sorry. Is that the my XRP, by the way? Is that something that we actually...
XRP?
Yeah, I saw it come up on the monitor ahead of time, and I was just sorry. I just couldn't help react. It's hilarious. Is that something that anybody actually worries about?
Anybody have that experience?
No.
Years. Do you see stablecoins as taking on a larger portion of that role?
I think stablecoins will grow in that role, but I think the market is exploding so quickly that I think like the role of native cryptocurrencies as bridge assets is going to grow as well. The advantage that native cryptocurrencies have is they're not tied to any jurisdiction. They're native on a blockchain, and so that anybody can hold them. They can easily move. They're not subject to they're not as regulated. I think for bridge assets in the sort of long tail of enterprise assets, I think they have an advantage. I think when because they're not tied to particular jurisdictions. I think stablecoins will take on a significant portion of the role of payments and providing liquidity. But again, I think the whole pie is going to grow so quickly that I don't think we should think about it as like one thing is going to take away from another. Maybe one thing is going to slow down another's growth, but the whole DeFi ecosystem right now is like $120 billion.
Right.
And even just small portions, just specific things like loans or specific things like treasuries in TradFi are trillions of dollars. I think access to these assets, including stablecoins, is going to be a long tail of assets where liquidity between them is going to have to be through some sort of a neutral asset. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think there will be competition between cryptocurrencies and stablecoins. I think the scariest situation for cryptocurrencies, like the bear case for cryptocurrencies, is like one stablecoin takes over the world, and then nobody wants to use anything else for anything. That doesn't seem very likely. I'm not super worried about that. It seems like we're actually seeing a multiplicity of stablecoins, even though it does seem like the US dollar is going to be the #1 asset. And actually, that's an interesting positive. You might think that the fact that the USD stablecoin, USD has won the stablecoin, race by the largest euro stablecoins are still, You might think that that's bad, but actually that's good because there's a significant portion of the world that uses euros. There's a significant portion of the world that uses currencies that are not dollars. And if there aren't good stablecoins for those currencies, then it will fall to other assets to provide liquidity between them. And by definition, you can't be stable to both dollars and euros. You can be stable to one and only semi-stable to the other. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think native cryptocurrencies and stablecoins are going to fight for market share. And I think what's also interesting is that we'll be able to manage the volatility better. Volatility is both opportunity and cost. And if the opportunity exceeds the cost, then the volatile asset should have an advantage. So you could imagine a case where I could hold a whole bunch of a stablecoin. But if I held a whole bunch of XRP instead, I could sell the upside and the downside to somebody else. And so I don't have the downside risk because somebody else wants the upside. If we have a good way to do that, then there's really no reason for me to hold the stablecoin rather than XRP. I'll actually get more yield from the XRP by selling the volatility to someone if the upside's worth more than the downside. And that seems to be like there could be some traction that way. So we'll see.
Yeah. Our next question is from Daniel, CEO of the XRPL Keller. What's the best food, and why is your answer cheese?
I mean, I think everybody wants decentralization. Even
Is from Sunny Sun. As the XRPL's core protocol evolves to support high-scale liquidity for tokenized assets and payments, how do you envision the role of retail users versus institutional players in maintaining the XRPL's decentralization and liquidity health?
So decentralization and liquidity are kind of different. Decentralization, I think everybody wants decentralization. Even the institutions that are coming to layer ones, they want them to be decentralized. They don't want them owned and controlled by their biggest competitors, which is what would happen. So I don't think there's a tension there. I think that's good. I think that's going to work out really well. Liquidity, my very first vision for the XRP ledger, as soon as we had the idea for issued assets and a DEX, was this idea that you could have pools of liquidity that were open and neutral that anybody could contribute to and draw off of. I'm looking forward to both enterprises, institutional players, retail users, developers, and ordinary people contributing to pools of liquidity and drawing off them on a level playing field. I knew the Forex business and international payments pretty well. And if you know Forex, like the costs are microscopic. And if you compare it to cross-currency payments, it's night and day. On the XRP ledger, cross-currency payments use the liquidity from the order books. Like, it's just a no-brainer, and I think, you know, having institutional participants and retail participants is going to be awesome.
Next question is from Dolly. What do you see as the benefits and drawbacks of stablecoins being issued privately versus by governments and CBDCs?
I'm glad stablecoins won. I think more choices are good.
Now, y'all pay attention to this one. We talking about the CBDCs. If you don't know, let me pull that up. Let me see right quick. If you're just joining, we went over this earlier in the live stream, but sometime in 2 weeks, July 14th through the 18th, they're going to, Congress and whatnot, they're going to be getting together. This is going to be considered Crypto Week. And they're looking to pass the Clarity Act, the Genius Act. And one of the main things is the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act. That's something that they're voting on right now in Congress. So the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act. And in this video over here with David Schwartz, that's him going ahead. He's talking about it. He said he's glad stablecoins won over CBDCs. He said he's glad about that. So let's hear his opinion and what he has to say about CBDCs not being a thing at this point. So we don't have to worry about that being in a surveillance state.
And I think I'm not opposed to CBDCs unless you try to force people to use them. But I'm glad that stablecoins won in the market because I think they're a freer, more open, more liberty-friendly currency, and also it's a revenue opportunity for Ripple. So I mean, win-win for me. But yeah, I'm glad that the market sees the benefits and drawbacks of stablecoins as completely swamping CBDCs. It looks like the market for CBDCs is all but dead, and a little sad because again, I like people to have more options, but I like when people pick better options. So I'm going to call it a win.
Like ones run by Ripple. All right, our last question is my favorite, by Crypto Gamer. If you were to become one of the Spice Girls, what would your Spice name be?
So there's two ways to interpret this question.
All right, we filtered through all the bullshit. I don't care about him becoming a Spice Girl. We got the information. We got the details on what we wanted to hear. Hopefully that was informative for y'all. Hopefully that was informative. You learned some new things. Let me come back over here. I appreciate y'all joining late. Shout out to you, Scott. Unfortunately, we're about to wrap it up here. But you always can go back and watch the live stream. I don't know how long I've been live. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know how, 3 hours. Okay, I've been live for 3 hours. So, that's an extended one right there. But hopefully y'all caught this one insightful. We went over a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of things coming up as well. This right here is the XRP ledger. I find this thing real interesting. It's all the transactions. We already know that stable coins go live. I mean, not they go live, but they're being voted on in Congress, the bills. And as you can see, how fast stable coins process compared to fiat currency. You know what I'm saying? That's the world we moving to. Lightning speed transactions. These are all the transactions on the XRP ledger right now, currently, real time. Let me see right quick. What else I wanted to show y'all before I head up out of here? Oh, let me see. Let me pull it up. Yeah, head over to my Patreon. Y'all click the link in the description below. If y'all want to sign up, we are having fun in the Signal service. We are having fun. It's just getting started. I just went live with it this week. So if y'all are interested in signing up, click the link in the description so y'all can get access to signals. It's not that I'm just giving y'all signals. I'm also walking y'all through trades. So I'm right there with y'all. I'm not just giving signals and not saying nothing. No, we right there all together as a community, and we're doing it together. So if y'all are interested in the signals, sign up for the signals. Other than that, man, shoot, that's going to be it, to be honest. That's going to be it. If y'all missed it, go back and watch the live stream. Go back and watch it. Definitely appreciate y'all joining, man. If y'all new to my channel, subscribe. I need everybody to subscribe. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so I only need not that many more. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that many more. So y'all, that'll be a milestone since I started my channel. But definitely appreciate y'all day ones. Appreciate y'all that sent me super chats as well. I'm very grateful. You know what I'm saying? I'm very humble. I'm very grateful. So thank y'all for the super chats as well. And shout out to you, Scott, showing up all the time. For real, for real. But I'll get back with what today is. Today is the 3rd. Y'all enjoy y'all 4th of July. If y'all celebrate that, at least y'all get a day off if you don't. And let's see what's Saturday. I might come back Saturday. I might come back Sunday. Most definitely Sunday. But Saturday, we shall see. We got a lot coming up. But until the next time, I appreciate y'all. Peace out.